Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
Today's Sunday session is brought to you thanks to the fine folks at More Beer. Visit them right now at morebeer.com.
Feels like work. Shooting the shit for 2 hours, drinking beer and talking beer. What a wonderful experience.
Can we not have the barf bucket near my mixing board?
I think everybody could read the book.
I knew you were going to use this book as an excuse to quit doing this show.
Mrs. Bub, if you want, I can mail you the Bub Timer.
Yeah, Newcastle, especially in the can. Have you ever had it in the can? No, I have not had it in the can.
Notice I closed my eyes and I concentrated really hard.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is The Session. My name is Jason Petros. I'm filling in for look, if I'm just going to be honest, the Republican, Justin Crossley.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
I called him Republican. I don't care.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm going to out him, and I think we all should take a stand. No,
Sitting down?
No, Justin is in Colorado right now, but we are actually going to be speaking with him in, I don't know, right about 20 minutes.
Oh.
We're going to talk with a representative from the city of Concord and our guests, Epidemic Ales, because there has been a collaboration beer that has been brewed for the upcoming Oktoberfest.
Oh, that's right.
So Justin's going to call in and manage that, and because he was there, I wasn't there, so I don't know anything about anything. I'm just going to sit here and look real handsome and push buttons.
So Justin's not taking the week off?
No, he's still working.
Fully?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Well, he's a scheduled guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
We'll treat him accordingly, too.
To be honest, it's really just a pre-recorded interview. It's just pre-recorded questions, and then Pedro's going to be in here answering the questions, and then I play the next question.
Right. We all have a script.
That's right. Very fascinating. I can't read this font. It's too low. It's too small. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is brought to you, of course, by the fine folks at More Beer. Go to morebeer.com, and they have absolutely everything for you to make better beer at home.
If they don't have it, you don't need it.
If they don't have it, it doesn't even exist. I mean,
wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how it works.
All right.
You don't know that.
I didn't. But now I do.
That's all right.
And now I know I don't need it, whatever they don't have.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, Warren.
You're welcome.
Man, I was real nervous you weren't going to be here because it was like 5:58 and I didn't see you. I didn't see you. I didn't hear you. I didn't see you like walking into like a table and going, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Like the guy with glasses from Revenge of the Nerds.
I stumbled in here about 5 minutes till, and then had to wait 4 minutes for a beer. So
you had to wait 4 minutes for a beer?
Yeah.
Eric,
what's going on, man? Lupe was real busy behind the bar there.
Hey, can I get a sample? Whatever, man.
Yeah, but I could see Tasty still standing out there, so I knew I wasn't in too much trouble.
I got that he can wait look on my face all the time,
too. I just sit there with my arms folded, staring.
Oh.
That's why I never get...
In here?
I never...
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
right. Just staring out the window at everybody having fun with their lives.
Mm. It's better for you to be on this side of the glass.
You want to hear a story?
Speaking of that.
Speaking of people going out and having fun with their lives.
Yeah.
It was my friend's bachelor party on Saturday.
Whoa, your friend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where the story ends. So there was
You weren't
that.
invited?
No.
It had happened.
I was at home playing Destiny. And
Good for him.
I got all my Power Pilgrims done. And so that was cool. Leveled up to 520 light. No.
Okay.
And, it very much was like my bachelor party. We just kind of went and, had some beers and some drinks and some food and, drove around a little bit and came home. I don't need to pretend I'm 22 anymore. You know what I mean? So it was 14 of his friends, which who know, I thought there was a soft cap of 5 friends that any one man could actually have.
Yeah, it seems like he was showing off.
Well, that's what I think, too. He knew I was going to be there, and he was like, see what you could do if people liked you? And I'm like, I don't care.
That's too many.
Yeah. Anyway, we're in this big, it was like a stretch limo. Actually, it wasn't like a stretch limo. It was a stretch limo.
Oh, wow.
But it was like some sort of one of those expedition stretch limos.
Are there unstretched limos? What does a stretch limo mean?
That's a good question. I think maybe a limo is like a town car or
it's based on a Lincoln or a Cadillac. This is based on an SUV.
Oh, yeah. when it's not the normal kind of limo, it's a stretch?
I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe this bit is a stretch. I don't know.
I've been in one, so I'm relatively
was
new
it
to
for
limos.
my?
It was your bachelor party.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to elevate your game.
I mean, I had to schedule it.
Yeah.
So, you're welcome.
Thank you. Anyway, so we go, he lives in Antioch, and then so we drove all the way out to Walnut Creek to a brewery, tap house or whatever. Uh-huh. And I'm like, okay, there's an Oktoberfest. That's cool. I like to support the lagers, the seasonal lagers. Mm-hmm. Tasted like sanitizer and overdone Vienna malt.
Hey, all right.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, so I drank half of that and I left it. And then we went to a new tap house in Concord. Concord Tap House, I guess it's called.
Oh, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Concord Tap House.
Oh, okay.
Nice people, super nice.
Uh-huh.
It was a cool spot. Everything was either hazy or IPA or flavored somehow, except Faction Pale.
Oh.
So your boy had a Faction Pale, and I was feeling pretty good. I'm like, okay, good. Finally, at first I had thought I had lost kind of hope in the craft services area of the humanities or whatever. And then we went to Slow Hand Barbecue.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And
they usually have some good beer.
Faction Pilsner.
Okay.
So first, I got a brisket sandwich and 10 wings and 2 sides and a pint of Pilsner. And I'm like, dude, this is great. You all right, Bev?
Nice getting out.
Are you mad at my beer choices or what are you doing? Screaming at me?
She doesn't like Roger.
My headphones still work, and they only worked a second ago, and it was you. I had it turned up too loud, and you just screamed at me.
I screamed at you? Oh, all right. Sorry about that.
It's a lot like life imitating life.
And then it was downhill from there. We went to a couple spots everywhere I go, there were hazy fruited milkshake beers. And I didn't know what to do with myself. I had a can of another Oktoberfest that was like super sweet.
Okay.
And I was my one. I guess my point is it was my one time of like going out and trying to be a human being for a second in the industry that I fully support. And I had a miserable time. I had a miserable time. I couldn't deal with it, and I don't know what to do about it.
I guess you're at a crossroads. You can either take this as a time for personal growth,
or
just stay at home.
I think I might just stay at home.
That does sound better.
Because personal growth is just changing your ideals, right? I don't know. So I was arguing with this dude, one of my friends, and he was like, you don't understand. It's just, this is what beer could be.
Well, it is.
Yeah, and I'm like,
it's here.
I'm like, look, here's my problem. I don't care that people are drinking or whatever, doing hazy beer. I honestly don't really give a shit. What bothers me is that when there's so many purchased at a bar that there's no like normal beer for normal people. There's no normie beer, and so it pushes so then it affects my good time. And my buddy goes, "Oh, so you just care about yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." Do you think I care? Do you think I give a fuck about what you want to drink? No, I'm going out for me. I want to drink something nice. And so I sobered up at the bar. It was fun.
You don't want to go to the bar to drink water while your friends get drunk?
No. No.
True friend.
I like RO water only.
That's true. Concord tap water is terrible.
Well, this was in Brentwood, but anyway, I guess the point of my story is I saw firsthand the haze effect on people, and we've talked about it a few times on the show about like chunky hazy beer.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of that.
Oh yeah, I've
honestly
needed floss after a couple of them.
And I guess that's what I don't understand. And so I was trying to tell people like, oh well, it's really not supposed to have chunks in it,
right?
And there was like literally yeast slurry at the bottom of this one dude's glass from this can of local hazy whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know. It bothered me. It was like I thought it was funny though, considering all the stuff we talk about on the show. The one time I go out, we're just inundated with I had 2 beers. I finished 2 beers, and they were Faction beers. Yeah. So God bless Roger Davis from Faction because...
You saved me many times. Your experience is very common. I'm out there a lot, right? I probably went to the same places you went on a regular basis, and I go in there and I go, okay, what do you have that's clear in a pale ale? Mm-hmm. And then they go like, well, okay, how about clear and hoppy? Yeah, we got this beer at 7.8%. It's a double IPA, they call it. No. Everything else is hazy. I said, well, do you ever have like clear pale ale? Oh, all the time. Why are they gone? Because that's what people are drinking.
Right.
They just don't get enough of it. People drink it. They drink it till it's gone.
Yeah, and I definitely don't want to get into that because I get hate mail. People actually literally write me hate mail. And we're so tired of hearing you talk about hazy beer. Then you know what? It's part of the culture. So that's just what it is. It's if you hate me talking about it, then don't buy it and people will stop making it and I won't talk about it.
Well, maybe the pendulum is shifting. If they're always out of clear pale, maybe bars will start buying it again.
I hope. I hope. But I don't know.
The line from your friend is really great. I really like it. Just think about what beer could be.
Yeah, you're such a purist. It could be. I'm like here's my problem. If you go to a restaurant, you order a steak, and a steak gets delivered, but it tastes like a cupcake.
Oh, think what a steak could be.
I know Bev is excited. I'm like, that's not. He goes. I go, that's not what it's supposed to be, right? We're talking about like lactose fruited IPAs. I'm trying to tell him that that's not really an IPA. You don't want an IPA, so don't think that you're an IPA drinker if you're drinking these fruited beers, which I thought was relatively, honestly, moderate, kind of in the middle of my weird bullshit argument about why hazy beers are gross, because it's just, at least just call it what it is.
Oh, sure.
And he was like, he goes, I see your argument, but that's what I expect. He goes, if I order a steak that tastes like a cupcake, I know what I'm getting myself into, and then it's okay. And I'm like, you got me. Yeah,
if it says that on the menu.
Yeah, if you're into that, you're into that.
Now we're back to our menu thing we talked about.
Right,
yeah. It says up there, West Coast IPA, and you get it, and it's called Cloudy.
Right.
Yeah.
What's that mean?
Anyway, but it was cool to go around to a couple beer bars I'd never been to, and have Faction beers, and I appreciate that. But there's some cool tap rooms in the area.
Yeah, they're popping up.
And the people are really nice, and they do have a wide selection, which is cool. And again, I've said it on the show, and I said it to all my friends. I'm like, I'm in a prison of my own design. I totally understand it. I'm not trying to make you feel bad as a person for drinking these beers. You want to drink these beers, that's totally fine. I don't like them because I've ruined myself with knowledge about what I think beer should be, and
good taste,
and proper genetics really to taste the flaws in these beers. So I'm just a subpar human being is what. But anyway, go out and check them out. If you're like me and you're kind of closed-minded, go out and reinforce that idea.
Learn what you already know.
The polyphenols that are floating around in there are antioxidants, so you're drinking a little healthier.
See, there you go. Tasty. And I feel like that's bullshit, but
yeast has a lot of good nutrients in it too, so that's floating there.
The floaties. That means you're getting the vitamin B.
Dude, I swear to God, it was in this can. I'm not going to say what it is, but it was a takeoff tiki drink. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And it was poured from a can, and this guy came out with and I swear to God, it looked like if you take a White Labs vial or the old vials, right, and you shake it up, that milk, it was like that. And then after 5 minutes, you could see a ring at the bottom of yeast.
Are you sure
I'm
it was
like,
not fruit?
Wow, no, it was yeast.
Ugh.
I poured it in my Oktoberfest that I didn't drink and let it settle out. And I'm like, look at that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. You didn't repitch it when you got home?
No,
okay.
No. But you know what? Hey, if you want to learn more about yeast, Warren, and I know you do.
Yeah.
Join White Labs November 5th and 6th for Yeast Essentials 2.0 in Asheville, North Carolina. This 2-day workshop will explore fermentation control points, tips for maintaining optimal yeast performance, and how to develop desired yeast flavor compounds. Attendees will learn methods for off-flavor detection and sensory evaluation techniques of different strains, as well as how to properly troubleshoot different fermentation problems. If you can't make it to Asheville, that's not a problem, of course. They're offering a webinar version. Register by October 6th, so you got, a few weeks, to take advantage of early bird pricing. Learn more about the event by visiting whitelabs.com/education. All right, Tasty. Normally, this would be feedback, which, of course, is brought to you by the Beer Law Center. John over there at the Beer Law Center is working hard to protect our trademark and all that kind of stuff, and he can do the same for you. He can also help you navigate the federal filings and, give you a little advice here and there and maybe even a joke.
You got a jail,
who knows?
maybe.
Yeah. But we don't have any feedback. We got zero feedback.
Come on, people.
This week. It was
Even
a
if
lot
you
of
hate
spam.
us, tell us that.
Hey, no complaints.
Won't read it.
That's right.
Means we're doing great.
That's right. So in lieu of that, what's up, Tasty?
Well, that's a good question. Oh, I spent the weekend at something called the Northern California Homebrewers Festival, which is...
that's a big thing. Is that a camping strictly?
It's the core is it's a camp out event. Everybody camps. And about 20, 23 clubs or so all show up. The heart of the weekend is noon to 8 o'clock at night. Each club sets up a booth. Most are decorated, all to a common theme. And each club pours 8 to 35 beers brewed by the club members.
Is it open to the public, or is it just for the
No, you have to be a
clubs?
club member. So
okay.
it's a totally circle the wagons club members kind of thing. I mean, you could... there were a few people there that...
You can invite your friends.
You can be flexible in your club member list, but everybody that's there is checked against a membership list at the club.
Okay.
The thing opens up on Friday night with a happy hour. They call it happy hour, where like a 4 or 5 clubs...
I get it.
Yeah, they'll host that.
Hops are an ingredient in
Hops
beer.
are ingredient in beer, yeah.
Some
would say a key ingredient. I don't know.
Right.
One of the 4.
It's a meet and greet. That's followed by a Sean Paxton dinner, where he serves a...
He's still doing that? I thought he wasn't doing that anymore.
Well, I think he got more desperate.
Not for NHC.
No, not for NHC. No,
right.
I didn't think he was doing the beer dinner thing at all.
No,
That's cool.
I know he didn't do it for a few years. But
yeah. He's back doing it.
I missed the last 2. Some guy had his wedding the same day as 2 years ago.
God, who would do that?
2 years ago.
Yeah.
Almost 3 now.
Oh, wow, that's right. Well,
Is it 3?
Fuck, I think it's tomorrow. Hold on, what's the date?
It's this week sometime.
It's it's Wednesday.
Oh, okay.
All right. Set a calendar.
You can pick up a card on your way home tonight.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, Tasty. Go ahead.
No problem. No, it's very important to remember dates.
Yeah.
So the happy hour, sort of a meet and greet, and that's kind of cool. And then after dinner, or some people don't, not everybody goes to dinner. You go to your camp area with your club, or you go club to club and try their beers and stuff like that. Kind of informal at night. You end up drinking way too much on Friday night.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, the main event opens up Saturday we hope it's up at 11. People are never ready by 11. So about noon, all the decorations are up, all the faucets are pouring, the ice is set up, and beers are coming out. And people just start moving, roaming around club to club, trying their beers. Maybe some of their decorations are interactive. This year's theme was Las Vegas.
So everyone got syphilis.
Yeah, it was like there were like several marriage chapels, no divorce courts.
That sucks.
Huh.
Yeah, a lot of people got married.
I would have gone.
A lot of people got married there. A lot of women married each other, which is weird.
It's legal now.
It's legal. There's no paperwork given. So
Tasty is such a Republican. I'm just kidding.
You're on Justin's side.
I'm kidding.
Brian Cooper's club, and Brian, by the way, was dressed as Elvis.
Oh,
of course he was.
He'd make a good Elvis. Yeah.
Brian Cooper from Dr. Homebrew fame.
Yes,
yeah.
And he owned it.
Oh, I bet he
never took off the Elvis wig all day.
Did he have his guitar?
No, but
wow.
His club had a karaoke booth, and man, was it very, very popular.
Really?
It just rocked it. Yeah.
Karaoke, man. There's something that brings out white people like karaoke like no other.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's killer. I don't
get it either, honestly.
Every year they give 3 awards. One's for the best beer, which club serves the best beer.
Yeah.
Other is for the best food, which club, because each club is required to serve food.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's also got they have little snacks at each.
Yeah, each
group?
club booth has a food table.
Okay,
it's usually hot food, and like homebrewers would do, it's well made, well conceived. Mm-hmm. Somebody's made their best homemade sausage or their best chili, or it's really good picnicking, if you will. And then the other is for the best booth, and the Mad Zarmagist, which is
Cooper's Club,
Cooper's Club. They won the best booth award, hands down. I'm sure.
Awesome.
So did you bring your wings then?
No.
Fresh off of the awards
I didn't do
list?
the catering. All I did was show up with my homebrew.
Oh, okay.
Wait, you homebrew still?
Yeah.
What?
Just for a reason. Like I brewed
for a special event.
I got some beer for this. No, I homebrewed 14 and a half days before the event, so I'd have beer to take to the event.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I only brew for a reason.
Yeah. I never go like, it's a nice sunny day. I think I'll pull the kettles out.
Right. You don't do that anymore.
Get some propane and burn myself.
This is
burn myself. I haven't gotten scalded in a while.
Yeah. I have some beer. You know what? I'll bring some beer next week. I'll bring a homebrew.
Please do.
Whoa.
Jason Petro's homebrew.
What was the reason for this beer?
I can't tell you. I'm working on a recipe. I'm working on a thing, which is funny because all of the shit I've been talking about. Why can't beer just be? It's a oatmeal milk stout with cocoa nibs. So there's that. But anyway, I'll bring that.
Is it clear?
It's clear.
I'll bring some of my beer in. It's just
Holy shit! We're gonna have a fucking homebrew day. Warren, do you have any homebrew?
No, I don't brew anymore.
No, you're a piece of garbage.
Equipment. So anyway, another highlight of a Saturday, part of Saturday.
Yes,
is
please.
There are guest speakers. This year we had Kevin England from FDR, that's Ferment, Drink, Repeat. He talked about troubleshooting finished beer and how to correct a problem, and very, very interesting talk.
Okay.
Dick Cantwell from Magnolia spoke about his what he calls eclectic IPA, and he's got a book out about that. Mm-hmm. He was signing and selling books.
That's cool.
And Fal Allen was there talking about Goza.
Oh, wow.
So
cool.
It was great talk.
That's a pretty powerhouse thing, dude. Yeah. That's like a mini NHC talk.
Yeah. Is it at the campground near Anderson Valley? Is that where they host it?
No. This is at Lake Francis. It's like
Francis.
It's in Dobbins, California. It's about 45 minutes northeast of Sacramento.
Francis. Okay. Someone's grandma named that.
It's an hour from Chico. I know that because I went to Chico afterwards.
Just to go to Chico or any brewery in particular? Okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say, Bev? You were raising your hand.
We're off for the next 2 weeks in a row.
Oh, we are?
Yeah, so
because you're going to be out of town?
Really dial in those homebrew recipes.
See, you have time to homebrew now, Warren.
Oh, great. Well, I'll dust off the kettle.
All right, well, that has been What's Up, Tasty?
Tasty's done.
I'm trying to. Oh, here we go. It doesn't work because the timing is off, but, it's fine, man. It's fine.
Have you seen comedians in cars promoting Netflix specials?
No, I have
It's pretty good. Well, it used to be good.
But you know what else is good? Great Fermentations, everybody. They have the largest catalog of Blickman products on the web. Their staff is some of the best trained in the business on those products. They offer top-notch customer service, same-day shipping on many items. Check them out, greatfermentations.com. They're all over social media, of course, at GR8 Fermentation, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Greatfermentations.com. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Do you have a Twitter game, Warren, real fast?
How about we do it after when we get back?
After when we get back?
After when we get back from the 2-week break. I mean, after the break.
Well, actually, why don't you just go ahead and do it now real fast? Because it's going to be the same either way. Or are you not ready?
I'm not ready. Okay. See, I was trying.
This is why it is in grade school.
Yeah.
That's
my dog ate it.
No, sorry. Your dog ate that part of your brain that comes up with worms.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Justin Crosley and Pedro from the city of Concord and Epidemic Ales right here in Concord, California. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Amendment.
Watch out!
Do you like beer? They make beer.
Watch out!
Do you like friends and fun? They make friends and fun.
Watch
Do
out!
you still like to have a good time? The 21st Amendment.
Watch out!
The 21st Amendment in San Francisco, located at 563 2nd Street, 2 blocks from the building where baseball is seen and played. Try their beers in the pub or try them in the can, featuring Monk's Blood, made with real monk. Watch out! So why not have the best time of your life? Go to the 21A and Sean O'Sullivan will personally greet you with a can of Monk's Blood. The 21st Amendment. Watch out! This advertisement is not in any way affiliated nor associated with the 21st Amendment Bar and Pub, nor its subsidiaries or affiliates. This telecast is not copywritten by the 21st Amendment for the private use of the Brewing Network. Any use of this telecast without Jamil Zainashev's consent is prohibited. Suck it, JP.
Do you know the 3 most important rules in brewing? Sanitation, sanitation, and sanitation. And no one does it better than 5-Star Chemicals. 5-Star knows sanitation. You can only sanitize clean equipment. And 5-Star knows how to clean, too. For craft brewers and home brewers, 5-Star has what you need to keep your fermenters, serving tanks, kegs, and draft lines sparkling and free of any beer-spoiling bacteria. PBW, caustic, acid cleaners, Star Sand, SaniClean, lubricants and defoamers, pH stabilizers, and more. 5-Star Chemicals has cleaning supplies, safety supplies, heat exchangers, pumps, hoses, and valves. And 5-Star is proud to offer eco-friendly products that exceed customer expectations. If you have a cleaning problem, you need the 5-Star solution. Visit 5starchemicals.com or call 800-782-7019. 800-782-7019 and get the 5-Star treatment today.
Tuned into this session
because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Before we get to our guests here, let me call our first one and talk to you, which is appropriately Beersmith. You guys all know Beersmith is the best recipe building and brewing software on the market, and it offers a 21-day free trial so you can check it out yourself. Well, now Beersmith just got better with the release of Beersmith 3. In addition to all the amazing features already in Beersmith, Beersmith 3 now offers support for mead, wine, and cider recipes for the first time ever, which is cool. I know people have asked me that forever. Water profile tool built into the recipe builder so you can build and match water profiles within a beer recipe. Mash pH estimation and adjustment built into the recipe builder. New support for hop whirlpool additions, including time and temperature for each item, which I feel like is probably the key. Boil adjustments for high altitude, streamlined interface, all this kind of stuff and more. Go to beersmith.com today and get your 21-day free trial. Okay, on the phone, we should have Mr. Justin Crossley.
Hi, this is Justin.
Hello. I'm not here to take your call right now, but if you leave your name and number.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
It's going great. How are you guys doing there in the studio?
Not too bad. Not too bad. We have a full studio. I'm sorry you are. Actually, if you were here, we would need more room in the studio. I don't know if we could fit everybody. So it's a perfect time for you not to be here.
That's why I left. I'm always looking out for you guys.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. We are in the studio with Pedro from the City of Concord Economic Development portion of the city, and then we also have from Epidemic Ales, Sean, Holly, and Aaron, and then, of course, Warren and Tasty are here, too. Those are all the voices you will hear, Justin.
Great.
Yeah, and we're going to talk a little bit about what the collaboration, about the Oktoberfest, all that kind of fun stuff going on.
Yes, I want to talk about that. I want to welcome and thank Pedro for being in there and increasing our minority impact on the show. We've never done that before. So
thanks, Justin.
Thank you for yeah. So of course we've been talking about the Oktoberfest that we have coming up there in Concord. That we are working on along with Visit Concord. And Pedro actually had the idea that we work on a collaboration beer with our Concord brewery, Epidemic. And I thought that was a great idea. So
that was Pedro's idea.
I think what's that?
I said it was Pedro's idea.
It was Pedro's idea. He's the smart one in the room. It's funny because I actually had already contacted Epidemic and just asked them, hey, would you guys be interested in brewing the official beer for Oktoberfest, but didn't even think that anybody would want us involved. But then Pedro said, well, why don't we make this a collaboration between Concord Vibe and the Brewing Network and Epidemic? And so that's what we did. And I'm sure you can imagine that my input on the beer itself was minimal because I wanted it to be good.
Well, that's the one thing about you, Justin, is your shortcomings, especially when it comes to beer.
That's right. I'm good at admitting everything I suck at vocally.
Not consuming it, of course, but the actual production of it.
But I will say that I believe I was able to sway us in the direction of the style of the beer and then entrust Epidemic in doing it. So what we had decided on was to do a nice Dunkelbock or Dunkles, if you're Dan Gordon and want to say it right, like you're a German.
Right.
And so I'm really happy that they agreed that would be a cool style to do because I don't think that any other brewery we've got at the festival is doing that style. And it's just one of my favorite German beer styles.
Yeah, it's a style you don't see a lot of people doing. I mean, even you go to Bevmo, let's say, who, they don't have a giant import selection or German selection, but what they do is pretty good. There's not really a whole lot of Dunkles represented there. And it is a good style. Not a lot of people do it.
It's a great style. And of course, I think you see a little more often the Dunkel Weitz, but I'm not a big fan of Weitz beer of any kind. I don't like what the yeast does and just not my favorite, but I love a good Dunkelbock. So so Sean there I think came up with a recipe that I'm sure we're going to hear about, and that is our official beer of Concord Oktoberfest.
That sounds good. Now, Sean, is it true that Justin swayed the recipe or at least the style, or did you already have it set in your mind?
Well, you definitely put in a good input on...
Oh, go ahead and get right. Just right on that. There you go.
So you definitely put in a good input on what the style should be.
When you picked that style, were you like, really, dude? Can we just do like a Helles or something? Something easier?
I mean, we shot it back and forth about what styles to do.
Yeah.
Because we definitely didn't want it to compete with our Meritzen that we release every year.
Oh, okay.
As well as we're a little bit known for our darker styles.
Yeah.
So felt like a Dunkel would be the right direction to go.
Okay. Cool. Well, your story checks out, Justin.
Yeah, apparently your feedback was good.
And I like JP's investigative reporting.
Well, that's what I do.
Fact check.
It's I'm going to take a job with KRON Channel 4 News here soon, investigating consumer reports.
Yeah,
investigating Yelp reviews.
We'll let Sean, maybe after I'm gone, talk about the recipe and how that came about. But of course, Pedro there, can tell us a little about Concord Vibe because the idea is mostly that Concord is awesome, and it gets awesome more and more. I've been around that town now for 20 years, and I have to admit it's really a lot. It's grown up a lot, and it's better now. And so Pedro's really good at just getting, those of us who are involved in the community together to do stuff like this. So Pedro, maybe you can take it from there just a little bit about what you do, but that's what I really like about what Concord Vibe does is even when we're not thinking of it, you're like, hey guys, let's do a little more together. And I love that.
Thanks, Justin. And hopefully it's been getting better and even better the past 3 years since I've been here. So I'd like to take a little credit for that. But Concord Vibe is really, it was created to really highlight the businesses, amenities, and events in the city of Concord that really cater towards young professionals. And really highlighting those businesses that really have targeted that audience and maximizing that exposure. And really, Concord made my job so easy because when I got here, there was already a great selection of businesses. And then I even had Epidemic coming right after me. So that was awesome to see together. And really what we try to do is highlight all these businesses and events that already are existing in the city and really maximizing that through social media and through different outlets. like the Brewing Network. And we've had multiple successes over the years. We've had two years now of our collaborative beer release party. So the first year we came out with a double IPA called Vibe, and that was wildly successful. Epidemic can speak to that later. And then last year we did a golden chocolate stout also with
sounds good.
Third partner Rachel Dunn Chocolates here in Concord also. So really keeping it nostalgic, keeping it Concord, and really maximizing everyone's opportunities to brand their business and bring everyone together, like Justin said. So the first year we had a couple hundred people, maybe about 5 businesses that participated.
Yeah.
Second year, 17.
Oh,
Easy. Wow. And it was a huge success. Everyone from Epidemics, EJ Fair, Hop Grenade, everyone was there. It was a great event, and it keeps growing and growing every year. And you know what we'd like to see every year is every year come out with a collaborative beer. And so Concord Vibe is really living right now in a really nice space with craft beer, but it means so much more. You know, there's so many more things out there, and so many restaurants, as you know.
Yeah.
And Concord Vibe is really growing, and it's taking its own path, and it's growing really nicely with the support of Visit Concord, the Chamber of Commerce, our breweries, our businesses. So really, I just helped maximize the exposure. But everyone already did the work. The businesses were already there. The restaurants were already there. And the city's vibrancy was already there. I was just helping promote it.
See, that's the kind of job to get. The work has already been done. You just have to sit and kind of just write it. And that's, I think good for you. I don't have to do it. What could you say to anybody who's listening that's not from Concord that maybe wants to work with their city to try to bring people in? How do you make a city attractive to a potential business?
Yeah, well, besides being affordable, you know, I think everyone is always worried about the Bay Area being super expensive.
Yeah.
Which, let's face it, it is.
Right. Yeah.
But Concord isn't that bad.
Right.
And Concord, I always like to say, is an affordable entryway into the Bay Area. And, you know, breweries out there, just like Epidemics, they started in the garage, home brewing, and they wanted a valuable space. And we allowed them to come into our city easily and efficiently with time. And that's something that where we really stand tall amongst everyone else is that we make it easy for businesses to open in the city of Concord. And we really try to allow for businesses to come into the city that are in the craft beer industry that really sometimes other industry or other communities maybe give them a little pushback or maybe make it a little difficult.
Yeah.
We've had really good success here. We have more beer and wine here also that they've been here for years.
That's right.
So we have a little bit of a history, and it keeps growing every year, and we're really excited to work with these breweries. So the more the merrier, and we're happy to bring more. And, you know, for all those listeners out there around the world, you know, hey, come to Concord.
Move to Concord, baby.
Yeah.
It's true. Concord does make it easy. They're so, in fact, so I'm out here in Fort Collins at our other Hop Grenade now, and I would kill to have a Pedro here, helping the city promote what it is that people do. But Concord does just make it easy. It's a great place business-wise. I'm sure Epidemic would agree. Just in terms of cutting through red tape and making it easy. And on top of that, I don't know why, but for some reason, the city of Concord and the Concord Police Department has like 100% trust in me and let me do whatever I want with these events and the things that we put on in the park. For example, this year at Oktoberfest, we just discussed this with the city and the police department. We don't even have to cordon off our beer garden for this festival. So the entire Todos Santos Square is going to be open. You can come into the beer tent and hang out in the beer tent, but you can also walk around with your family with a beer in your hand and just go enjoy the whole park and the entertainment that we have. So, like I said, I don't know why, but the city trusts me and is using me as a guinea pig for this format so that we don't have to like stay in a little cage while we're drinking our beer.
To me, it sounds a lot like entrapment. Where they're just gonna they're waiting waiting for it.
Yeah.
Like
you get arrested for whatever happens.
Yeah, or not even kid, old man, because most of the force is probably younger than you. All right, old man, let's go.
Dude, it's definitely one of those things where like, well, that didn't work, and you can tell because Justin's in jail.
Right.
But
let's hope that doesn't happen,
actually, Justin. They're so, I don't know what better way to put this, but adult about everything. And so most of what I've run into just comes down to common sense with the city of Concord. And whether that be when we were opening our location there at the Hop Grenade or doing these festivals that we do in the park, it's a very common sense place to work and do business. And I guess that sounds obvious to some, but that is really not the case in almost every other city I've ever worked in. So.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, especially, how long have we been doing this? 13 years, and almost every brewery that we've had on the show has had some sort of pushback from the city that they're in, whether it's regulations for water or I don't know. I don't have a head for that kind of stuff, but it sounds like, and maybe you guys from Epidemic can chime in, they were pretty easy to work with. They want to solve the problem. To me, it doesn't seem like a lot of people in the city, not City of Concord, but the city wherever, Main Street, USA, they don't want to do any work.
Well, yeah, I do remember when we first opened, we went to the planning commission meetings and the city council meetings, and people were coming to me from the city saying, we want you to open. Like, what can we do to help you? And we're like, what? We didn't really expect that at all. And right. I do remember meeting with Justin. I don't know if he remembers, but it was, right after you guys opened here. And just talking to him about, like, some of the pitfalls that he had, and he said, the city was great. Yeah. It was other things like, maybe ABC or the county or something like that. But he did say the city is like 100% behind us, and that's what we found. I mean, as I said, people were coming to us and saying, how can we help you? And they were helping us every step of the way through our whole process, which was awesome because being a new business owner, we didn't really know what to expect. But right. But they did say, like, you need to get this signature and sign off here, and they just kind of walked us through the whole process and make it really easy for us. So it was great.
And I just wanted to add one more thing, too, is, the support can be really easy to be done while the business is opening. But the city of Concord takes it a step further along with Concord Vibe, and we help them the entire time they're in the city of Concord. Okay. So once you're a business in Concord, you're now part of the family. And maybe Holly and Aaron can expand on that because, I've been there every milestone of theirs, helping them through every first-year anniversary, second-year anniversary, and I hope to be there for the 20th anniversary. So really, we really take a lot of pride in our businesses in our community, and we really look out for them. And, I'd like to say that their success is, attributed to some of our support as well, too. Is it just because they make beer? Or they are really nice to me, and I'll just leave it at that.
does the dog grooming place get this? I'm kidding. But it doesn't hurt. I'm sure.
And obviously craft beer is something that brings a lot of people together.
It's big now, yeah, absolutely.
And I always like to say, I am very San Diego proud. I come from the mecca of craft beer, I like to say. Yeah. And so I brought a little bit of that with me, and a little bit of that flavor, and I really wanted to help promote that here because I saw an opportunity with what Justin was doing here at the Hop Grenade and the Brewing Network, and what Aaron and Holly and the rest of the team were doing at at Epidemic Ales. And I saw that opportunity. So I think between all of us, we've been seizing that opportunity together, and that's really what's made the magic.
That sounds great.
So I have to get going. I've got a beer getting warm, but what I'm most excited about is this Oktoberfest and this beer. So I hope that Sean gives you guys a good rundown of how they did the beer. And hey, Sean, it might not be a high point, but I'm just going to say my listeners love to hear about when things go wrong. So if there's anything you want to talk about with how this beer got made, it's a learning experience for everybody involved. And I know our listeners love that. But I'm super excited to try this beer. And I want to thank you guys for making the official Oktoberfest Dunkless. I'm excited.
We're excited, too. Can't wait.
Concord Vibe.
All right,
so
Jay.
I'll be back in a couple weeks. I got to get through the Great American Beer Festival here. Wish me luck, JP, and my liver.
I don't think you need luck. I think it just drained. I don't think you have a liver anymore. I think it just goes from your stomach to a bag in your ankle. Like, that's how I would do it. And you stay...
You know what I did this year, though, just because I've been doing this a long time and I know myself, like I'd go, oh, hey, just like, relax a little when you go into this, but that never happens.
Yeah.
I read an article the other day where this writer from like Men's Journal or something had tested all of these hangover medication cures.
Yeah.
and a bunch of liver pills, and I ordered like 4 different products to stack the deck.
So you're just going to do all 4
in the morning. Yeah. So Bevo, if I'm a little more alert and aware of my surroundings every morning at GABF this year, you'll know these, random like Chinese herbal supplements I got are working.
Chinese herbal supplements.
So if they do work, you're not going to use it as an excuse to stay up later and then feel the same.
You know
the
I
next
will.
day.
That's probably exactly what I'll do.
Yeah, I think what we should do is come up with a chart for Bev, and then she will, on a scale every morning, grade how bushy-tailed and bright-eyed you actually are, and then we can take the meat and at least figure out which of the products she can attribute it to. Or
I'm
might
willing
get cancer.
to engage in this experiment.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
I mean,
because I can then report back when I'm back on the show and be like, all right, guys, this one totally worked. Because some of it's expensive, like $35 a jar.
Jeez, dude.
I know.
Or you could just
but I was
drink less.
like, look, if I spend $100 and I feel better, it's worth it.
Yeah. You could. There's also restraint is the cheapest hangover cure, Justin.
Go home at 2:00 instead of 5:00.
But everybody knows that that's just not going to happen.
You know what I would do is if you find one that you really like, you should send it to a lab to get tested, just to see what's in it, because there might be like cockroach grindings and who knows all this stuff.
But if that works.
If it works. I have a feeling if
Damn, that's a good point.
if any of them work and we get them tested, they'll find out that they have like cocaine in them. Probably the only.
Cocaine and plutonium, like yellow plutonium cake. This is it.
So shorten my life even further, but I feel great after a hangover.
Hey, that's why they call it a half-life, I guess. I don't know.
That's right.
All right, well,
so I'll
good luck.
report back on how all that's working. And thanks again to Pedro and Epidemic there. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, all right.
Justin.
Bye,
Justin.
dude. Chinese herbs.
So he got tea.
Yeah, basically. It's just
I got this green tea.
Yeah. Well, Chinese is more oxidized, so it's typically more of a black or like a red tea.
Oh, okay. Not an oolong?
That's
the other tea I know.
Oolong, yeah.
Okay,
it's oxidized. Yeah. Man, some of the things you don't know, Warren, it really boggles my mind.
Yeah, I've made it this far.
You know the Twitter game?
I do have the Twitter game.
Let's do the Twitter game. I'll tell you what, let's do the Twitter game. Let's do this right. We'll take a break. We can let Pedro get back to his drinking, and then we'll taste some beers from Epidemic. We'll talk to them about how they came to be, about their home brewing past.
Yes.
A little Kickstarter stuff here, which I think is kind of cool. And then we'll drink more beer.
So are we doing the Twitter game now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And the Twitter game is brought to us by...
Did we say that already? I don't remember.
The Twitter game is brought... I have so many papers.
Yeah, we
paper machine.
need to pepper in these live reads and the other ads.
The Twitter game is brought to you by craftbeer.com here, everybody. Dedicated to telling the stories behind America's small and independent breweries. Meet the men and women behind America's beer renaissance. Visit craftbeer.com.
So we've been talking about it. Oktoberfest is coming up very, very quickly.
Yes.
And we all were very intrigued in getting our own Lederhosen last week.
I believe it's pronounced Lederhosen.
Okay, sure, that.
Okay.
And so you especially were very interested in getting your own pair of leather shorts.
And a
your
second pair of leather shorts.
Oh, second.
Let's be very clear about that.
Their first pair that you can wear outside.
Thank you. Yes.
So you are what I would call a fashionable person.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, bro.
Sometimes.
Yeah. I should show you my shoes. I got new shoes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
And so you wouldn't obviously just wear plain, boring leather shorts.
No.
And so they typically can come with some pretty fancy, ornate designs. And so I want to know if anybody can come up with a great idea for what you should get your Lederhosen decorated with.
See, the thing about you is that I like to talk about myself more than anything else, so this makes me feel good.
And I figured you wouldn't change the Twitter game if it was about you.
Yeah, that's true. So what would I get? I'll write it at the break.
Yeah.
I'll write it at the break. But what
kind of decorations would you get on your Lederhosen?
On my Lederhosen?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can read some of the responses I'm probably going to get. I think they're going to be a little blue.
Bev will read them.
Bev will read them. All right. Okay. Well, God bless. I think that's a good one, Warren. I think this is maybe, potentially, possibly, Your first good Twitter game.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give a beer recipe at the end of the show? I better start getting paid for all this work.
Remains to be seen. All right, everybody, it's this session. Hang on. We'll be right back with Epidemic Ales from Concord, California.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Your support of the Brewing Network means everything to us. We couldn't produce shows without you. And we love giving you something extra for that support. Like Brew Your Own magazine. You already know it's a great brewing magazine full of recipes, equipment how-tos, discussions of beer styles, and brewing techniques. Whether you're new to brewing and just starting out or you're an old pro, you'll always learn something from the articles in Brew Your Own. Plus, there are amazing special issues like plans for building a Brutus 10 system, 250 classic clone recipes, and a Homebrewer's Answer Book. Brew Your Own magazine and BYO.com are awesome resources for any brewer. Whether for yourself or as a gift, when you subscribe or resubscribe from the Brewing Network homepage, you directly support programs like this. Get a great magazine and support the Brewing Network. Subscribe to Brew Your Own right from thebrewingnetwork.com.
Are you looking for a simple brewing system that's great for all grain brewing, but everything on the market seems to be full of compromises? Blickman Engineering has the answer. The Blickman Brew Easy All Grain Brewing System. The Brew Easy is a complete system with easy upgrades and a beautiful compact design, perfect for any size brewing location. At its core, the Brew Easy is built on two gorgeous Blickman Boilermaker brew kettles, a high-temperature March pump, and either a top-tier gas burner or the new Boil Coil electric heater. The Brew Easy adapter lid allows the pots to stack on top of each other, forming an efficient, strong, and compact brewing setup that comes in 5, 10, and 20-gallon batch sizes. Upgrade your Brew Easy system with full automated control by adding a Blickman Tower of Power temp controller, and make moving around easy with the Blickman Kettle Cart. The Brew Easy is modular. If you already own a Boilermaker kettle, you can build your Brew Easy by purchasing just the modules you need. The new Brew Easy all-grain brewing system. See it today at BlickmanEngineering.com and brew with Blickman quality on your new Brew Easy.
This is Corey King from Side Project Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Thanks for sticking around, everybody. I'm about to get into these Epidemic Ales, but first, don't forget, More Beer has teamed up with the great John Palmer to make 27 beer kits based on the recipes found in Brewing Classic Styles, written by John Palmer and someone called Jamil Zainashev. I still need to figure out who that guy is.
Oh, he's the host of Love Strong.
Oh. Never heard it. The kits are true to style and are all within BJCP guidelines, enabling them to be easily entered into any upcoming competition. Buy 2 kits and get fast and free shipping from More Beer. Bev's trying to sabotage me.
Wow, look at that.
I know. She's putting glasses all over my papers. She knows that I need everything perfect. I need everything to run smooth.
And so she doesn't set you up for that.
How are you? How you doing? You snuck up on me right there. All right, we have the people from Epidemic Ales in studio here. We have Sean, Holly, and Aaron. Sean, you are the brewer, the head brewer, right? And then Holly and Aaron are co-owners.
Yep.
All right. How you guys doing?
Great.
Everyone doing all right?
Yes. Thanks for having us.
No problem. Thanks for coming in. I'm excited to talk about, we're going to talk about the collaboration beer, of course, like we talked about with Jay and Pedro. We have some beers here. Bev is loudly pouring water right next to me.
I can't wait for that water. Yeah. It sounds so nice.
Oh, man, it really does. Hey, Mikey, got to go to the bathroom. Yeah. But first, I want to talk a little bit about your story, because I think it's really interesting. You guys were home brewers, and you went professional, which to me is already interesting. You know what I mean? But the kind of path you took, I think, is pretty cool, too. How long had you been homebrewing before you decided you wanted to pursue this as a career?
We were probably homebrewing about 5 years. We used to get together in our backyard. So my husband and I live in Concord. We lived here about 18 years. So we used to get together and homebrew in our backyard and, have our dogs there. We'd barbecue, have a great old time.
Yeah, it sounds like the life.
most homebrewers do.
Yeah.
So we just kept amassing more and more equipment, as I'm sure a lot of people can understand.
Yep.
It pretty much took over our backyard, our garage, our office. Everything was just beer and homebrewing and kegerators and fermenters. And so we kind of got together and decided, well, do we want to try and take this to the next level?
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of people think about. And we actually, got together and pooled our money and pooled our funds and even did a Kickstarter. And we were able to open in December of 2015.
Okay, very cool. And I think I saw on your Kickstarter there was a bet, or there was some sort of competition internally between you and your friends.
There was a bet, yes.
What happened there? Just get right on that microphone. Sorry, it's a little finicky there.
Let's see. I went way, way, way back to a Mr. Beer kit.
Oh, hell yeah.
My husband got as a Christmas present, and it was in the closet forever. And I brought it out one day, and I brewed it, and I was so careful. And the beer came out, and I was just like, there's got to be more to this. It's got to be better.
Because it was so good.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So perfect. The Mr. Beer kit in aging finely, nicely.
Cellaring in the closet.
Yeah.
Often, yes. Uh-huh.
Makes me want to do the chef kiss. It's so perfect. It just can't.
Warm closet in Concord.
Yeah. So already you knew that wasn't really.
I knew there had to be more to it because I grew up in San Diego, which is all about craft beer. And coming up here, I wanted to bring a little more of that slice of San Diego up here, where you find in an industrial area, you're going to see 10 breweries, you're going to see a brewery across the street, a brewery next door. And I think that Concord definitely has the spirit, and it has the openness, and it has the city behind it to open these businesses.
Yeah. So you welcome it. You welcome more breweries, the better.
So we were just located just down the street from Black Diamond for the first 2 years. And now with them not being there anymore, we're looking to make a Concord Brewery Row. Yeah, so we're not located downtown. We're located in the industrial area.
Yeah.
And we're looking to have a brewery, like I said, across the street from us. And then let's say another interesting brewery, like a gluten-free brewery down the street, or even a winery down the street. Because I always say to somebody who says, well, are you glad to be the only brewery here in town? Of course I am. But I would love to have 3-4 more breweries, because it's just like wine tasting. You don't go to Napa to go to one winery and say that was good and go home.
Yeah.
You're going to try all the different beers, the different styles, and meet the people. Try all the different things that beer can offer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I like that. I like that. I like that. It's not competition. That's kind of what we hear just kind of across the board, anyways. It's not competition. It is like family. But I think if you, especially in the light industrial areas, you can have a couple breweries and you can have parties. You can have joint parties.
Of course.
I think that'd be cool.
Of course.
Bless you, Beverly.
Yeah, once you have another brewery, then when people talk about the 2 breweries in Concord, you could be the good one.
Right, exactly.
Or the other one.
Yeah, or the other one.
I like it. So let's talk about the Kickstarter real fast. Why Kickstarter?
It was one of those things where obviously when you're starting out, you want to try and start out with as much funding as you can. And we did fund everything ourselves, but we thought, it would be good to have a little bit extra so that we can get the brewing equipment we wanted. We wanted to start with a 10-barrel system. So we pretty much did all of our research. We can't go any smaller than 10 barrels. So
no, and that the choice shows that you guys did your research, because we get a lot of people go, I'm going to start with a 1-barrel or a 3-barrel.
I mean, you can, but then you're going to have to upgrade within a couple of years,
absolutely.
maybe a year, and then what do you do with your old system? So we just kind of figured, well, this will help us out, and we did have a lot of friends that participated, and some people we didn't know that participated, which was great. So and that kind of put us over the little hump, and we were able to start and buy all the equipment we needed and get the 10-barrel system and all of our fermenters and bright tanks. And
that's great.
We were able to set up our equipment, and we were brewing within, I think, 2 months. And we were able to open with, I believe we opened with 4 or 5 beers, one of them being a barrel-aged beer, because we set up our equipment, we were brewing, and then we set up our tap room. We opened that about 6 months later. So
sure.
Okay.
We did our research, too. We were going to Sacramento. We were going to San Diego. We were asking everyone, what is our best investment as far as money and time? So if you're going to go and talk to somebody who's brewing 1 to 3 barrel batches, and you talk to them how tired they are brewing, triple batch days. So we thought, at first we thought 3, and then we thought 7, and then we just thought 10 is going to be the best bet for us.
Yeah.
And that's been great, but we're starting to sell out of our beers, a 10-barrel batch in 1 week. So we just bought 2 new 20-barrel fermenters that are up and running right now.
Wow.
Right.
So you guys are just pedal to the metal, no pun intended.
Yes, of course.
All right. I love it. Do you see any challenges as far as growing? I don't want to say growing too fast, but just in growing in general. I mean, you're relatively new. Are you anticipating any sort of challenges with that, or have people been so into the beers and supporting the brewery that there's just you need this? You see what I'm saying? You're not planning to grow, like you need to grow.
Yeah, I think we've seen all the problems and been through the problems. So it's been 2 years. Yeah. We've been doing all of these things ourselves as co-owners of the brewery. We brew, we work the tap room. That's how customers know us when they see us walking down the street in Concord, see us here in Hop Grenade. They're going to cheers us because we put in all this work and all this time.
Right.
So that was all of our funds that we personally brought together, and we've been watching, trying to get together a team that we're looking for, which is part of why we have our new brewer for the last 6 months, Sean Hammer, formerly of EJ Fair, and then we just brought in a great new sales guy, Chris Shelby, formerly of Gilman, and we're as a team. So we built this team really carefully, and we built our business really carefully.
Yeah.
So they say, brewing is all about sanitization, but it's also about finances. So we have this amazing finance guy.
Dude,
Brian,
for sure.
yes,
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, wait, it's also a business.
It is.
That might be the most.
It's not all fun brewing.
No,
sorry.
that might be the most important key ingredient in a brewery is finances.
There's a takeaway.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
Your finances in order.
Was that a surprise?
Yes.
How much money you would need, not just to start up, but to continue just to operate,
to grow, and to.
I think what's the most interesting about all this is that you can't afford not to invest in it. So right now is the best time that if you're going to buy a tank, you got to put that in there. If you're going to buy a canning line, that's the best thing to afford right now because look at all the sales in canning.
Yeah, cans are amazing right now.
21st Amendment, I know they're doing 80% canning and 20% keg sale right now. So that's really, I think that's important to research your funds for those kinds of things.
Yeah.
And we have 5,000 square feet, and the front is the tap room, and the back is the brewery. So we're invested in Concord, and we have a crowler machine. We have local food trucks on Fridays and Saturdays, family friendly, dog friendly. So we're trying to put a little bit of us in Concord and the business and beer and bringing in great beers to the scene and just having something for everybody.
So I mean, it sounds like you guys are planning for the future, not just a couple years in advance, but 5-10 years in advance with the 20-barrel thing and the crowler machine, and because I think a lot of breweries who have been open for a short amount of time as you guys have, I don't think you would see these kind of advancements. I don't think you would see this kind of forethought put into, or maybe the willingness to expand this big. Because I think in the notes it was like a 67% expansion with those two tanks.
With the two new 20s.
I don't think anybody would think about it, and I think down the road they're going to incur more costs, which is what you were saying, Holly. That it's that's a huge part of running this, right? So if you can manage your money and you can manage your funds and you can manage your growth properly, it sounds like, then why not just do it up front and save everybody a headache, right?
Yes. I mean,
I'm smart, Warren.
If you say so.
Well, speaking of fermenters, are sort of unique in a way. If you have the infrastructure for a fermenter, like the glycol and the space and the pad and all that stuff, it doesn't cost a lot to put it in.
Yeah.
You can make beer in that thing, correct me if I'm wrong, at 20 barrels, you can make beer in it 3 times and almost pay for the vessel, right?
Almost.
Almost, right? Or, I go bigger ones, like 30, 60, 100s.
Sure.
Maybe once or twice.
Yes.
So because you're saying you don't have to lay the path,
the money you make, if you don't have a big infrastructure investment, the money you make on the additional beer that you make will pay for the vessel.
So like what Roger did at Faction, right, where he poured a longer pad than he needed.
Yeah, he's got room for more.
And he put the glycol system bigger than he needed.
Right.
So you don't have to then pay somebody, because you imagine like you're upgrading your tanks. Now you have to pay somebody to come back out and pour a bigger pad, and that's maybe a lot of the cost. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I'm just saying that.
Or did I muddy up what you were trying to say?
My main point is,
you're so smart.
The additional beer that you make will pay for the fermenter pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Because fermenters are, as they go, especially if they you get a little bit taller, just adding another band of volume to the fermenter. Most of the cost is the fittings and they go in the top to bottom. And,
for sure.
And the shipping.
Yeah. Are you guys doing all the plumbing and electrical and all that kind of stuff yourselves?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we do what we can. Of course, we call in professionals to do all the safety stuff for us. But we are 100% invested in everything we do there, which is why you'll see me work on the sales team with the sales guy. You'll see me deliver beer if it's local in town. So I think it's good as a business owner. Aaron and I, we know intimately everything that goes into brewing. We know about writing a recipe. We know about how long it takes to clean after you finish the 10-barrel batch.
God, right? Jeez.
We know about opening and closing the tap room. We know about hiring employees. We know about the insurance coverage you're going to need. And we know how to grow. So I think that's really all important.
All the fun stuff, like insurance and finances.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So you actually pay people to do things safely at your brewery. That's weird.
What are you trying to say, Warren?
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, it's it's a rarity.
Yeah.
Let's talk about homebrewing real fast. Sure. Were you guys? Did you put any investment into your homebrewing rig? What were you homebrewing on? Like on stovetop or what?
We my husband kind of fashioned this vessel that worked fairly well. We had a 1-barrel system. That was our largest system that we were homebrewing on.
You were homebrewing on a 1-barrel system.
Yep.
Damn.
That's why it was like, really, are we going to just keep doing this, or are we going to, expand?
Okay.
So so we still have it. It's our pilot brew system that we use. So,
it is. All right.
Yeah. So we still have it, which is great that we can still use it.
Nice.
So yeah, that's what we ended up with before we went to the 10-barrel. So.
Okay.
And of course, it's all more beer. Everything is there. So
really?
We spent a lot of money at more beer.
A lot of time, a lot of money and more beer. In fact, we used to go there and we'd pick out our homebrew batch, way back in the day, an extract batch.
Yeah.
And then we would go next door and drink beers at Ale Industries when it was right there in the corner.
Oh, that's right.
Morgan and Steve.
And Morgan
shout
and
out
Steve.
to them.
And we
That's
were like,
right.
Morgan and Steve, what do you like going in your brewery? Do you open your brewery? And they're like, you should do it. And we're like, damn you guys.
That's like having kids. Yeah, you should do it.
It's great. I love it.
I'm killing myself. But I got one. You should have one too.
I love it.
Do you love it? You guys love it?
We do.
Yeah, we do.
Still having a good time?
That's why we're there, pretty much 7 days a week.
Okay. Not because you have to, because you want to be.
Yeah.
All right.
We're really proud about what we do and
Good.
the beers that we make and the people that we make happy, and it's get a lot of good out of it.
Awesome.
Now, one thing we skipped over, which probably people should know about, is the fact that you are 3 couples. I mean, we're only looking at a third of the ownership here tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, what does everybody else do?
Everybody else has their full-time jobs.
Okay.
So,
and everybody else, you guys don't have full-time jobs, or you do?
I actually currently do. So I kind of have. I say I have 2 full-time jobs.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool.
But this is my fun job. Like I get to. On the weekends, I get to work the tap room and drink beer and talk to customers.
Actually,
and
look
do
forward
events.
to. Cool.
So yeah, but I like my other job too. So
great.
But yeah, so Holly's really like our main
Everyday.
day-to-day operations.
I oversee all
person,
operations,
so.
Cool.
and I do marketing, and I work on the sales team part-time also.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it interesting.
Right. Not just one thing.
Everything.
You would never do that.
Yes.
No.
Sean, let's talk to you, dude. It's your turn. Wake
up.
How you doing, man?
Doing well.
Yeah? You coming from a homebrew background, or how did you get involved with Epidemic here?
Yeah, actually, so I originally started by looking for another job, and my mother mentioned some family friends in Dublin that owned a homebrew supply store, and potentially just go inquire for a job.
Yeah.
Turns out they became like second parents to me, taught me pretty much everything, and that's... So shout out to Hoptech, Homebrew Supplies.
Hell yeah, dude. Jane Roberto.
Yep.
All right.
Great people.
So, yeah, from there, I actually met Holly. I was milling and pulling hops and doing all that for their pilot batches before they were even a full production brewery.
Yeah.
And from there, met their nephew, Josh Kopp, and he actually got me into EJ Fair so much later.
Okay.
Then was over there for 2.5 years, and then these guys picked me up.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I constantly do home brewing. Got a 4-tap kegerator home that always seems to want to be full, but can never keep up with the new age. But yeah, right now I'm on a 10-gallon system, so doing
at home.
About
okay,
turning around about like 6-gallon batches at a time.
That's not bad. Yeah, doing some just fun stuff you don't do at the brewery, or kind of planning for stuff to make at the brewery for future batches and stuff.
More just kind of fun stuff.
Okay. Wow, you love brewing then, dude.
That's how you know a good brewer.
Jeez.
He's at home brewing, growing his own hops.
Jade even said it like, my buddy Taylor and I, because I started with two of my friends, Taylor and Cody.
Yeah.
And we even like one time like went down there, got to the shop a little bit later. We're like trying out like a new decoction method and like coming back home, and she was just like, "Man, you guys love torture, don't you?"
Yeah,
it's part of being brewer.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right, man. But that's the way to do it, right? That's the only way to learn is by doing it and by torturing yourself and burning yourself and cutting yourself on fittings and all that kind of stuff, man.
Especially working in like tight spaces, like just like all the tanks being stacked together. It's
tight squeeze.
Pretty tough.
Yeah. All right, you get stuck back there. You're like, help me! I need help. Get the butter. I need to be shot out of here.
Luckily, not yet.
What kind of beers do you like brewing normally? If you could brew your favorite style of beer right now, what would it be?
Oh, that's a hard one.
I wouldn't have an answer either, so don't worry about it.
What's on tap at your house that you made?
Don't overwrite my question. How dare you?
He answered yours. He said it's a hard one, so I gave him an
he was
easier
thinking
one.
about it.
Okay.
I'm going to turn Warren off here. Answer my question first, and then maybe Warren's question second.
All right. So, favorite to brew, probably like a good hoppy pale ale.
Hell yeah.
I just enjoy more like the simplicity of it, as well as having a little bit of hop backbone.
We were talking on the show a little bit about pale ales, and there's not a lot of them. There's not a lot of them anymore. So I like the fact that brewers making popular beer style. Is that my phone? Jesus Christ, I'm stupid. Sorry, everybody. I was like, whose phone is on? Oh my God!
Wasn't mine this time.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah,
it was mine.
We run a pretty tight ship around.
Well, we're what we call prepared. Knuckle crack, chef kiss. It's perfection.
Twirl the mustache.
Well, look, Sean, I'm going to let you off the hook, man. Let's drink some beers. How about that? Let's do that instead of talk about
Let's do this.
No worries.
So, what are we drinking first?
Zombrew IPA.
Zombrew IPA. Tell me about this beer, Sean.
All right.
I'm going to put you back on the spot.
You grabbed the wrong one.
I grabbed the wrong... Okay, jeez.
That would be the Amber.
Yeah.
That would be Beverly, our lovely producer.
Oh, wait, you want to grab left to right?
Well, it's like a book, but in Japan. Yeah. So it's just different.
Up and down?
Go ahead, Sean. Sorry. Tell me about Zombrew IPA, please.
You got it. So Zombrew IPA is our staple flagship beer. It's our take on the West Coast style IPA.
Yeah.
Loaded with Centennial, Columbus, Centennial, Columbus, Cascade, all the traditionals.
The basic,
Simcoe.
Okay.
And then
classic.
Yeah.
Classic
West Coast.
Right.
Then to round it out, we hit it with Citra Mosaic Simcoe dry hop. So it just really gives you like that like really piney, dank note at first, and then has that nice floral kind of almost like kind of fruit citrus finish on it.
Okay. Was this a homebrew?
Yes.
This is
a homebrew recipe?
Yep.
Okay.
One of our earliest ones.
All
and
right.
we love the name. We actually trademarked it because we love it so much.
Oh, nice. Yeah. You got to protect yourself these days. You got to
I wrote
protect
the
yourself.
original recipe, and when we brought Sean in, I said, I need a little help pulling these things back and dialing in the right hops, getting the right flavor, and then I needed somebody with the experience to tell me that, there's one too many hops in here. Let's pull this back. Let's instead of balancing all these things, let's do a one session dry hop instead of two, and let's see how that goes.
And that's what you did, Sean. You helped kind of condense it a little bit and streamline it.
Originally, when I came in, I felt Zombrew was actually a bit muddled. Just they had so much different hops in different places. It was like I couldn't really tell what I was drinking almost. Other than it was an IPA.
You want the subtlety a little bit because you want to be able to, because you have a lot of distinct hops in there, and you want to be able to read them essentially.
Yeah.
Right. See, Warren, I'm back to Japanese book. I'm back to being smart.
So really, the most changes I've done, besides added a little bit of acidulated for pH balance, was take out the Chinook hops out of it.
Okay.
Just because, like I said, it just felt a little too muddled at
Sure.
first.
Absolutely. Well, honestly, I mean, that's what I think any home brewer would be doing with their IPA.
Sure. Whirlpool.
Which is clearly what happens, right?
Throw it all in there.
That's what I still do that with, like, my stouts and just any beers that I brew. It's like I have to fight that urge to not just put a bunch of stuff that I really enjoy in it.
Sure.
Like cocoa nibs and lactose.
You know what, Warren? All right, Warren's microphone is broken, apparently. I can't help it. I don't know what's wrong. I can't fix it. Well, I like it. I think it is very clear and straightforward. Straightforward IPA, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you did a good job.
Really appreciate that.
Yeah, you pretty much described it.
No, Warren, sorry, your mic's off, dude.
It's still off.
There you go. I fixed it.
That was for real. Wow.
Yeah. I don't fucking joke around,
Wow,
dude.
okay, fine.
First thing I noticed was the aroma. It has a great nose. The dry hopping's working really well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
said that was Simcoe, Citra, and Mosaic?
Yes.
Centennial?
Not on the dry hop.
Not on dry hop.
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't hear that
And
first question.
Yeah.
the Columbus is for bittering, and then the on the hot side, or
Yeah, so we got so we have Warrior for 60-minute bittering.
Mm-hmm.
Columbus at your 30-minute edition for a little bit of bitter, more like aroma, and then we finished it off with Simcoe Centennial in the Whirlpool.
Okay.
And then that's when after the dry hop comes to round it out with the Citra Mosaic Simcoe.
I like it.
Yeah, we like to say it gives a little bite, something you can sink your teeth into, since it's a zombie style beer.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
so it's like a 3 malt beer or 4. Like you said, acidulated. What other? Yes, obviously, has some crystal or some color malt.
Yeah, so we actually use about 3% C15 in it, just for a little bit of coloring.
Sure.
Some carapils and torrefied wheat for body. The main base malt is just 2-row, and then some Vienna.
Which I appreciate the body malts taste. You know, you mentioned it and asked about it. Because a lot of West Coast IPAs to me are they're very thin. And it's almost like they're just 2-row and then some hops and then that's it. And I don't like that personally. I mean, I don't drink a lot of IPAs, but when I do, I want to taste it. I want to taste the malt.
Definitely. And coming from a home brewing background too, just growing up in hop tech pretty much.
Yeah.
They taught me to, expand taste pretty much all my malts, all of my different hops, and from there I've really pretty much fell in love with like C15, C40, good carapils and like as a backbone. And, kind of found out I'm basically either making Original Ruination or Pliny.
Or a variation on one of those.
Yeah.
Hey, why not, man? Who cares? Let's go.
Those good starting points.
What's the next beer we're going to have here?
Affliction Amber.
Affliction Amber. Okay.
Yeah, this is actually my favorite of the beers.
This is
Mine
your
too.
favorite. Yeah?
I like the maltier beers. So
All right.
I like the hoppy.
We all have our likes in the brewery, which is
Yeah.
great. We
Yeah,
all have
absolutely.
different favorites.
Was this another homebrew recipe as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right.
That's got a nice multi-character. Nice.
Yeah, I like that. You don't see many amber ales.
Yeah.
What made you guys decide to go amber instead of like a pale ale
Probably
or
early
whatever?
on because of me.
Yeah?
Because I really love amber ales. I love red ales. But yeah, Sean has kind of like refined the recipe.
You don't find too many red ales, much less good red ales,
we
and I
actually
think
make
that's
a really
why.
good red ale as well. And
I love red ales.
People ask about it, and they really want those. I mean, not everybody wants an IPA or a stout.
That's me. Yeah, that's me. I would be drinking red ales and amber ales all day long.
But
I
70%
think they're
of the
great.
people want an IPA.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. That's why you got to
You
have
should
a
call
few
this a
IPAs.
red IPA, not an ale.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't tell them that, Tasty.
You're only messing with that one guy over there.
Right.
The other 70% is...
You're training other people.
He drinks at home, so don't worry about
Yeah.
it. He's not even in your... What? Yeah, he's not even...
No, I'm not even a target market. No, I drink at home. Absolutely. I drink rum.
Safeway is how he gets it.
Yeah, my favorite, the way I homebrew is I go to the store and I buy Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
Yeah. And you bring it home.
And I bring it home and I drink it. That's not entirely true, but I do like going for an amber ale because I think the style has sort of been tainted by kind of bad microbrew, and I'm going to use that term because way back when microbrew was a thing and not craft beer, I think people are still concerned about maybe amber ale. That seems kind of old school, but this is a good beer.
Yeah, it definitely is.
That's a really good beer.
I think it kind of suffers the same way brown ale does when you just describe a beer by the color that it is.
Yeah.
There's so much that can go wrong.
Well, unless it's hazy. And then it can go right.
Then what color is it? It's just mud.
Mud. It's my muddy IPA. Can you imagine that? This is my sandy, muddy IPA.
I feel like ambers and reds just kind of conflict with each other.
Yeah.
Just every now and then you go to order an amber or red off a tap, and it's usually the opposite.
Oh, really?
Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
The amber's like super malty, probably, and the red is maybe isn't.
Or like, just like the color wise, and possibly like the hop profile on them.
Yeah.
Generally your reds are a little bit darker, have like more hop presence, whereas like ambers are just really malt.
Or malt focus.
Mm-hmm.
And so it just seems to be like that fine line, and that's why I actually really like brewing this style too. Is it's that tricky balance between gold and brown that you want to hit,
right?
And like don't want to get too deep to be a red, don't want to get it too light to be a gold, but
yeah, you want to hit it right there. I think you did it, and you know what? Yeah. You don't want it overwhelming. You don't want a lot of crystal malt. You don't want it heavy. You don't want it sweet, which I think kind of what I was saying. Amber ales used to be that way.
Yeah.
And they definitely don't have to be, and this is a good example of that. It's not. You can taste those malts and you can get a feel for them, but the hops are there to kind of clear it up, and it's also not watery.
Yeah,
it has some thickness to it.
Yeah, this definitely has a nice balance between the bready flavors and the just a little bit of caramel, kind of like melanoidin flavor going on.
Awesome.
Yeah,
definitely not cloying. Just very nice finish too.
Yeah,
and then and the only thing I ever made changes to this recipe was dialed it from C90 to C60.
Okay, C90 to C60. Okay,
yeah.
Just up. It was originally made with chocolate malt, so I kept that in there. Just up that a hair to dial that drop back from the crystal malt.
Okay, so you're really trying to find a balance between everything.
Yes.
Smart.
And who's the maltster on the C60?
This guy named Ted.
Ted does it on the third shift over at Breeze.
Yeah.
What is the brand on the C60?
Originally was Breeze, and then now it's Great Western.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
Look at Tasty, trying to get brand specific.
Well, I mean, it matters. I mean, obviously, he said like C55, I go like, well, that's obviously English or something.
Right.
I knew it was going to be domestic. It's good. I love Great Western.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, our primary house malt is Breeze. That's our standard 2-row, and a lot of our more base malts. And then I try to source out like more familiar ones that I'm used to, like Great Western, and like the darker coloring malts.
Okay, that sounds good to me. I'll tell you what. Let's take our last break. We're going to take our last break now, Tasty.
Okay.
The last one of the show?
Last one of the show. This will be our third break.
Wow.
What do you think about that?
It's gone by so fast.
Well, I know, and it's kind of, blame Justin. He threw me off with the whole, I want to be on early, which is really 3 hours later or 2 hours later than that here. So
I don't want to be there, but I want to be on the show.
I don't want to be there, but I want to control what you do on the show is pretty much how that works. No, I'm kidding. But we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Oktoberfest beer, the Dunkels.
Yes.
And then Warren has a recipe for us, too.
Yeah, speaking of Oktoberfest, here's an Oktoberfest recipe for you to brew next year, because it's too late for this year.
Well, look, man, if you want to be ruled by time, Novemberfest.
Yeah, I mean, this beer is great no matter
time is
what
a human
year,
concept, dude.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Don't let it control you. Brew whenever you want.
Yeah.
What are you celebrating harvest?
With my Oktoberfest?
I'm going to turn Warren off. Okay, before we get out of here, though, the Brew Guru. This episode is brought to you by the Brew Guru, the American Homebrewers Association, who makes the free Brew Guru mobile app. If you love brewing beer and saving money, which, let's be honest, if you're any kind of home brewer, you love both of those, you need Brew Guru in your corner. The app offers a searchable database of homebrew recipes, including popular craft beer clones and hundreds of winning recipes from the National Homebrew Competition. What's more, Brew Guru has a searchable map of deals at breweries, beer bars, and homebrew shops. Grab the free Brew Guru app for iPhone and Android devices and follow the path to good beer. All right, we're going to come back and talk about more good beer. We're going to taste a little bit of beer, too. We're going to be talking recipe formulation, whole bunch of stuff. Hang on, everybody. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Check out their brand new patent-pending mash and boil 110-volt electric mashing and boiling unit. This compact all-stainless unit lets you mash, sparge, and boil just about anywhere that has a 110-volt plug. Double-wall construction adds to efficiency and safety, and a precise thermostat keeps temperatures where you want them. Unlike insulated buckets and converted coolers, multiple temperature rest mashing is easy to do, all for under $300. They also feature the Mark II work pump, a magnetic drive high-temperature pump that does the work of pumps that cost twice as much, as well as exclusive Brewer's Edge regulators and quality Keg King kegs and disconnects. Check them out today at williamsbrewing.com to brews their vast selection.
Hey, my brewing brothers and sisters. This is Jamel Zainashev, and I want to tell you about Heretic Evil Twin. You might be familiar with my homebrew recipe, which uses massive late hopping to create a balance between the malty sweet and the hoppy bitter, along with an outrageous malt and hop character. I wanted a beer with the same bold hop and malt character, so we played around with the homebrew recipe until we were able to make a great commercial version too. We've created a beer rich in malt character, full of caramel, toast, biscuit, and an ever so subtle roast note. On top of that, we piled in an insane amount of Citra and Columbus hops at the end of the boil, as well as in dry hopping. This damn-the-cost approach to hopping gives Heretic's Evil Twin a great blast of citrus and tropical fruit that can't be matched by any other hop. The result is a bold, malty, hoppy, but easy-drinking beer. This is our top seller, our flagship beer, and I couldn't be prouder of it. Cheers.
To find Heretic beers near you, click on Find Some at hereticbrewing.com.
Brewcasters are back.
888-401 beer.
Whatever.
Thanks for hanging on. Our third segment, we're about to drink some more beer. But first, the Branding Brews podcast is a deep look inside everything that revolves around branding and marketing a brewery. Branding Brews interviews industry professionals covering in-depth strategies and topics like labels, packaging, websites, social media content, trademark marketing, plus much more. Whether you're in sales and marketing, you own a brewery, or if you're looking to start a brewery, Branding Brews is a podcast for you. Go to brandingbrews.com or subscribe to the show wherever you like to get podcasts. I prefer them on the internet, personally, so that's where I would go.
So I shouldn't keep mailing them to you?
Here's a mixtape of my favorite podcasts. It'll take 3 to 4 business days to.
Cassette or 8-track?
Man, it's a good thing. So we've been having like technical problems, right? Where sometimes, which is weird. Where sometimes like the archive service, stops, but doesn't tell you that it stops. It just decides to not accept any more audio, so you get like a flat line.
Yeah,
right?
why would it tell you?
So then we've been doing a backup.
Yeah.
But for the past few shows I've been doing, we haven't had any problems. Everything's been fine. So I'm like, well, why do I need a fucking backup? It's just more work for me and then more space on the computer, and I don't need to deal with it, so I'm not going to do it. Okay. And I was like, I'm just going to make a backup. I'm just going to do a backup real fast. So I go to look and see how long we've been recording.
And we haven't.
On the archive. 0. It not only stopped taking audio, but it actually literally stopped recording. It just shut itself off.
Did you hit record at the beginning of the show?
Oh, yeah. I did. The same time I hit on this one, too. So we have the show.
Okay.
Because you have a backup.
Yes. I just wanted to explain how foresight, how much foresight I had.
Well, really, you
2 out of 2 is good. That's good.
Thank you for following protocol instead of being lazy.
No. You think that's what that was?
Yeah, because that's normal now to have the backup. Thank you for choosing to do what's normal.
I didn't look at it like that.
Oh.
I looked at it completely
You
different.
saved the day. You're so great.
There
Thank
we
you.
go. Yes.
Thank you, Jason.
See, now.
Thanks, Jason.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you.
Don't tell us we have to start over.
Thank you. Yes, we do actually get Pedro's ass back in here.
Tonight's session is brought to you by More Beer.
And the fine folks. Okay, we're back here with Epidemic Ales in the studio, and we have 2 more beers in front of us. Who wants to tell me about them? What's the first one?
First one is Patient Zero Double IPA.
Patient Zero Double IPA. All right. Was this are all of these beers that we're tasting originally homebrew recipes?
Not Patient Zero.
Patient
and
Zero's
definitely not
new.
the Juicifer, which is the next one, which is the triple berry milkshake IPA. That
Okay.
was definitely a new recipe.
I appreciate the name.
Yeah.
That style didn't exist until you started the brewery.
Right. What can you tell me about this? The double IPA. It definitely smells very melon, tropical forward.
Yeah, so double IPA, it's mainly made with Centennial, Amarillo, and Mosaic hops. So it definitely attributes to a lot of that, like more melon, kind of like fruit forward notes of it. And it originally originally it was just kind of like it was an all malt beer.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually was talking to Tasty when he came into the tap room at one point, like about this, and he pointed out like how you get that like original, like that back sweetness, on just being all malt.
Mhm.
So I've actually started recently drying it out more with some corn sugar or dextrose, and it's definitely been improving. I feel like
the old Pliny method.
Yeah,
the original.
And so,
and you like that improvement? You like that change to it?
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
But yeah, so again, just classic West Coast, has like that, like you said, that melon.
Yeah. What hops are in here?
So we got Centennial First Wort, Magnum Bittering, and we do a 90-minute boil on this one. So and then some Cascade at 40 minutes, Centennial 30, Amarillo Mosaic 15, Amarillo Centennial Mosaic Whirlpool, and then heavy hit of Amarillo Mosaic Dry Hop.
Okay. So it's kind of, I think your hop style seems a little more traditional, but then that Mosaic kind of influence.
Yeah.
You think that's kind of accurate? You're more of a traditionalist when it comes to hopping?
Generally, yeah. I like to round it out throughout the brew. When it comes to like our more, new age hazy IPAs and stuff like that, I'll go, like slight bittering edition, heavy Whirlpool, heavy dry hop.
Yeah.
But as far as like our West Coast, I want them to be hop forward and just kind of like round it out throughout the boil.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I think you've achieved that for sure. Warren, what do you think? You probably drink more double IPAs than I do.
You'd be surprised. I definitely agree with having a drier IPA, and
thank you.
You're welcome. You're so smart. And so adding dextrose definitely helps with that. I do appreciate the Magnum bittering. I enjoy Magnum as a pretty neutral bittering hop, especially in IPAs, like West Coast IPAs, where we're kind of trying to just showcase the more delicate, fruity flavors of the hops, and I think that just helps add a very neutral bitterness. And so I'm really enjoying that in this beer.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm also a Mosaic fan, so having all that melon and everything. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm unique in that I like Mosaic.
That's right. I've always said that about you.
Yeah.
You're very unique.
Yeah. So yeah, if this wasn't a double IPA, I would drink more of it.
One of
That's
the
probably true.
First batches I actually made of this, it was before the dextrose. It was very heavy Amarillo, so it just came out like this honeydew melon.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of threw me off for a second because I was like, what is this?
What did I do? Yeah. Right.
But after that, yeah.
But it works.
It definitely works. Well,
yeah, I would drink a pale ale with this hop schedule, too, to be honest with you. I like that flavor profile you got.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Your 30-minute edition, which I've done on another beer as well, I find that sort of unusual, but at the same time, I'm getting a lot of like a hop body, and by layering the hops like that, you get a little bit more body in the beer that way. Tastes great. Oh, and as we're using the Centennial at 30, is that what you said here? Centennial at...
no, you're right. Centennial at 30.
First wort and 30.
Yes.
So that flavor is really coming through, right?
And then Whirlpool after that.
Oh, both. Yeah.
Yeah, so.
You guys must have a lot of Centennial.
Yeah. Well, one of my favorite hops.
And they're good ones. And they're good ones, by the way.
Yeah, I like Centennial.
Found out, just through homebrewing, it was, favorite parts were Centennial hops, C15, and then your basic 2-row. And it turned out to be the original Ruination. I was like, oh, well, no wonder why I love all that.
Yeah, it's like you were born 10 years too late for that peak everything Crystal Centennial. But and that's kind of what I mean. You're more of a traditionalist. It seems like in your malt and your hopping schedule. But I like that, and we've been talking about it at least for the past couple of weeks on the show, Tasty, about palates. I think are going that way.
Oh yeah,
we're coming back to that because
we're coming back down.
We're so used to everything being super bone dry and tons of hops, overwhelmingly so. That people are shifting. People are shifting away, and I think this is kind of what they're pushing towards.
What we find
more flavor.
We like to drink beers that don't push back so much. They're easy.
Right.
They want you to drink more, not less.
Right. They're cool. They're cool once in a while.
Yeah. Oh, they're great. Like this beer is it's so dry. It's easy drinking. It hides the alcohol really well.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, we've come full circle as a human race.
A human?
Yeah. As a human
to live
race.
with the human.
Of a human race.
Beep, boop, bop.
Right. That's Warren's prime objective running out. Well, let's try. As much as I don't do the milkshake hazy beers, let's move on to that one.
This looks
and you can
lighter
talk to me about it
in appearance than what I would expect.
Yeah,
for a milkshake.
I would not guess that this was a hazy IPA, and I for one appreciate that. This is actually a good looking beer to me.
Yeah, it's a little fruity in color.
Yeah,
it's a triple berry, so you're going to get cherry and raspberry and strawberry on it.
Cherry, raspberry, and strawberry. Okay.
You guys are definitely on the right track as saying the traditional beers that we've been doing. We definitely have our traditional sides of our ambers and the IPA, which are our GBF entries this year.
Oh, nice.
We're super excited.
Congrats.
Thank you very much. We entered and we're going on Wednesday.
Okay.
So
we'll be broadcasting that. And
that
we'll
is great.
Be listening to
We'll be there drinking.
Awesome.
We also got our Nutty But Nice Peanut Butter Stout and our Undead Red Imperial Red Ale.
Awesome. Cool.
So we brought this as a way for everyone to kind of see our pivot that we're doing. So with our new brewer and with our new investment in our tanks, we've gone a little bit off from the traditional side.
Yeah.
Where we've really nailed down the recipes to more of experimental. So just this summer, we've done a brute. We've done this series of juicer for milkshakes, different fruits, and cream ale. And then we just most recently brewed the Oktoberfest.
Awesome. So are you homebrewing these kind of beers, Sean, or are you learning on the brewery?
More just learning on the brewery.
Okay.
Like I was saying, traditionally, if I'm brewing homebrew, it's going to be like a pale ale or something I'm testing out in a blonde ale, a new hop or new malt.
Yeah.
But
so you had to learn all of this.
Yeah.
You had to figure this all out.
Yeah. We actually...
God bless you, because I wouldn't know what to do.
Actually, coming from EJ Fair, we just did a lot of more hoppy beers.
Yeah.
So I wasn't actually allowed, except for contracts, to play around with more fruit or malt forward styles.
Mm-hmm.
And recently we're doing the Oktoberfest beer, so along with the Dunkelbock, we're doing a Schwarz beer. And this was my first ever Schwarz beer, so I got told late at night the next day what I'm brewing. And so come in the next day to just sit down for about a good hour or two just doing research and trying to see what makes a good Schwarz beer and what other people either home brewers or professional brewers are doing.
Yeah.
And just kind of base my recipe off of that.
That's what you got to do.
Well, the recipe called for a lager yeast, right?
Yes.
So
which I've already had.
Do you have that? Oh, you had that?
We had the pitch.
We already had the lager yeast, so we knew we were going to make a lager.
Oh, I see. You had the pitch first.
We had the pitch.
Yes.
Oh, I see.
Smart.
And we had done the Dunkel in the morning before, and then we were going for a different style. So Sean and I have to go head-to-head on discussion for recipe, blow for blow, about what he wants to do, what I want to do.
Who won?
And we talk about money, we talk about hops, we talk about everything. So,
yeah.
And we talk about success rate, and we talk about everything in the brewery. So that's what I really want with my staff, is to be involved. I want their input. I want their planning, and I want their help. And so we're all involved in this, just like we are as owners. I bring in the owners. Everybody has their say. I bring in my people, and we all do this together. So we all grow together at the same time.
That's good.
Great.
I like that. Well, that way you know what's going on.
I do.
You don't have to wait to hear something in the wings or have a disgruntled employee or have like an angry conversation. It's all just right up front.
Oh, we can have that angry conversation.
Right. Yeah. They just happen sooner.
But you don't have to. You're right.
We can just have it in person instead of over text.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I'm going to need to see you in my office. Well, let's talk about the Dunkel then.
Okay.
Let's do that a little bit. How did that project come about? How was that recipe formulated? You said you had to do a bunch of research for the Schwartz beer. Was that the same for the Dunkel?
Yes, definitely. Originally when we came into it, we pitched doing a Doppelbock.
Mm-hmm.
We threw around the Dunkel or Dunkelweiss, and just kind of like, what could we make like a German lager style?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many out there, but they're all very similar.
Right.
It seems
Right.
like, unless you're doing like a Pilsner. But, so when we actually got the Dunkelbock recipe and decided this is what we're making, it took a little bit of research, and I found like a lot of like award-winning homebrewers were using Munich 20. They were using some crystal malts like C90, C120, and some chocolate malt.
Sure, yeah, get those higher crystal malts in there.
Yes. So originally we were tied in with EJ Fairs for a second, and we were working with Justin Green, and he helped me like build the recipe up, and from there we went ahead, brewed this first batch, and I kept going back and forth, Munich 10, Munich 20, and I was like, all right, well, we just finally decided like let's do it a little over. It was more like 60-40% Munich 10, Munich 20.
Okay, little mix there.
Yeah.
All right.
And and then we're like wanted to do all traditional style, everything like that. And so we did a single decoction mash, 90-minute boil, and just going like the whole 9 yards.
Good. Yeah, that's great.
Ended up. I
mean, maybe
when
it's not. I don't
came
know.
to Vorloff.
Yeah.
The Munich 20 basically acted as the crystal malt and just compacted that grain bed, stuck mash.
Oh, no.
And, yeah, we're like sitting into like a 2-hour lauder at like, it's like, well, what do we do? It's already mashing for 3 hours now. There's going to be all these off flavors. Like, this isn't going to be the beer it should be. Just getting really worried about it. We're about like 3 barrels in the kettle. And out of a 10-barrel system, so
right.
It's like, yeah, just the day was going to be long enough as it was. We didn't need that extra headache, so we actually had to scrap that batch and start again the next morning.
Oh wow!
We revised our recipe just as far as the technique of what we were going to do for it. We didn't actually change the recipe at all. Luckily, I had just enough Munich in house to do this.
Okay.
Another time.
Yeah.
Did you add rice hulls the second time?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
we made sure to add rice hulls. We did a single infusion mash and just did a 90-minute mash. Skipped Vorloff, went straight to lauder. Still came out pretty clear. And then from there, 90-minute boil. Beer turned out great. Got it in tank. Originally when I was researching it, it was like there's all these like really black, dark beers coming up. And it was just like, that's kind of what threw me off originally. It was like, are you sure you want to just do Munich 10 in this? But yeah, and then did a little bit more research on it and was like, okay, no, we can get away with this deep copper, amber color and still call it a Dunkel.
Yeah.
It's a wide range, I think.
I think so too, yeah.
But we were pretty certain on the percentage and everything else. as far as how the beer goes. So
We kept it to 6% for the Oktoberfest here in Concord.
Great, that'll get them going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Justin was right. Our listeners love sharing mishaps. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you think a 3-hour mash would have been too much? You saying as far as off flavors?
Probably weren't hitting temperatures at that without circulation. So.
No.
I mean, I don't know, but
I'm not too sure. It just the whole thing was it was because it was stuck. We couldn't really get it over.
Get it out of there.
So
Right.
we were just more worried of it extending to a 5-hour mash or something.
Yeah.
Producing all those.
I
off
see.
flavors.
I see.
Whereas
Yeah.
we were already 2 hours in, and we're only 2-3 barrels in the kettle.
Got it.
This thing's not moving over. I could increase the pump percentage, but it's not going to do much.
No, it's not. I had a stuck mash once, and I think I just tipped my system over and walked away. Like I just, I wouldn't know what to do either, man.
Yeah.
So you just didn't invite Justin back for the next brew day, and then things went fine.
Fixed everything.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
yeah. That's what I would have done too.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Bada
of
bing,
course
bada boom.
we're going all this German theme, and then I had a part-time intern at the time, and he comes in wearing a big Canada shirt, and it was just like, "What are you doing, man?"
He jinxed us for the day.
Yeah, he's throwing you off with his vibe, dude.
Yeah.
That's not cool. Well, that sounds like a good beer. I mean, it sounds
It's
like
lagering
it's
right now.
nice.
Yep.
So
Getting ready.
Yeah. Last I checked, it was just finishing fermentation, starting its lagering phase, and
All right, what's it fermenting at?
So it originally started at 50 degrees, ramped it up to 55 for its diacetyl rest.
Nice.
Had it sit there for the past couple of days now, and just going to start slowly lowering it back down.
Okay.
Smart.
Grab the yeast harvest off of it, and then finish its lagering.
Nice.
Things seem like you should have a firkin of that, so you can have a
yeah,
celebratory.
for the
mayor.
Oktoberfest.
So you can have another accident or sprays beer on the
tap
mayor.
that.
Right.
Yeah, get the mayor full of beer and stuff.
Yeah, let Justin tap
Like I'd
that.
set him
thing.
up so it absolutely failed. Yeah,
We could have Pedro come in.
Yeah, Pedro will do it.
Give him a spigot with no hole in it. Just like
Right, yeah, there's no valve to shut it off. It's just going to come out.
Either way, it'll come
set
out.
him up to sacrifice the
Yeah.
So we call this beer Hollenhunde, so hellhounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
It
a
fits
little
right in.
epidemic spin on it, and
Yeah.
it's a little nod to we love wiener dogs over at the brewery. We have a little pack of 3 wiener dogs. So
Oh, nice.
we have a new
pack. Reese's, that would be pack.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we do. We have a pale ale out right now called Squishy in the Wig, and that's another homebrew reference to our wiener dogs.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you come to the brewery, you'll see the wiener dog references. You might even see the wiener dogs over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds cool to me. Well, I guess we did kind of gloss over the Juicifer, huh? You want to talk about that real fast?
Yeah, sure.
See, this is a series that you guys are doing.
It is.
Yes. So originally, so we ended up getting a pallet of Oregon fruit in, and started experimenting, deciding what are we going to do with this.
Yeah.
The latest trend being hazy milkshake IPAs. Well, we'll decide to go that route. So, did my research, what I could on it, and was like, okay, it's your standard hazy IPA, only just add lactose and some fruit to it.
Yeah.
And vanilla, and then you got like a milkshake.
Right.
So we originally started out with a strawberry vanilla milkshake IPA and call it Juicifer, and then ended up doing a strawberry blonde ale called the Devil's Daughter.
Okay.
It's kind of just a tie-in that, hey, we're messing with this fruit, but, don't want to be too similar.
Right.
So then, got overwhelmingly good hype on it. So we ended up doing a second run right away. But we're like, we want to kind of mix it up. We have all this fruit. What can we do? So we ended up releasing Triple Berry. And I already now have the third batch in tank ready for almost its fruit edition. And we're going back and forth on it. But we're thinking like a mango strawberry.
Okay.
So now you're buying fruit.
Hell yeah.
Or are you still working on that
No,
palate?
we're
that you
still
got?
working on the palate.
Okay, cool. Sounds like they gave you a variety. Check this shit out.
It's got an assorted palate.
Exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
We do like 300 pounds per the 10-barrel batch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So it just releases, gives all that nice juice and fruit
Yeah.
character.
When do you add the fruit to the beer?
Fruit comes usually in secondary.
Okay.
We experimented with the strawberry at end of primary, and then tossed it in secondary. But I found it's a little bit better just at secondary. And this triple berry actually started re-fermenting itself because of all the fruit.
Sugar,
Yeah. And which turned out to be a really nice thing because after it started fermenting, I had to just keep degassing it, and it ended up self-carbonating itself. So it came to the time where I crashed the tank and start getting it ready to rack, and I'm like, I might want to just check the carb level before I actually add CO2 to it.
Right.
Good thing I did because it was sitting right there at like 256, and it was like, oh, it's perfect. Let's rack it out.
You intended that. You planned it.
Yeah, totally.
Right, that's what you say. I knew it was going to happen, and everything is fine. And how's the response been to the Juicifer series? People like it?
Amazing.
Yeah?
We can't even keep it in-house.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you adjust the hops depending on the fruit, or is it the same hop?
Same hop bill.
Same.
I designed the recipe to be just a base milkshake IPA. So the with the intentions, hopefully, that the fruit wouldn't be able to change too much of it. So we actually use Cascade at 10 minutes and then El Dorado at Whirlpool. And from there, we've kind of been increasing the lactose. So the first batch was 25 pounds. Second batch was 50 pounds. Third batch, we stepped it up a notch from 75. So
okay.
We're just kind of playing with it, dialing it in.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, so far, great feedback all around.
Nice. Awesome. Well, that's all you can hope for, man.
We call it the summer strawberry, or at least I call it that.
The devil's daughter.
It's nice. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
It's refreshing.
Yeah, the nose on it's great. Yeah, very good. Very good. Speaking of the Dunkless, Warren, or the Oktoberfest or whatever.
Speaking of beer.
Yeah, speaking of beer. You have a recipe to share.
I did. Justin wanted me to bring in an Oktoberfest recipe.
You sound like you're pouting. Justin wanted me to.
He did. He asked me to last week, so here I am with my recipe.
Yeah, and I won't enjoy a single minute of it.
Right.
I'll hate it.
Yeah.
What is this from? One of your archives, your mini archives?
So this is kind of based on where I was headed with the Oktoberfest at Loma.
Yeah.
So it's more of the fest style, not like a Meriton style Oktoberfest beer.
Okay.
So on the lighter side.
Not as red or...
Right, yeah. It's pretty much...
That's Munich.
Kind of like a little bit of like an Imperial Helles kind of thing.
Bigger
going on.
Helles?
Yeah,
Right.
just like bigger bodied, a little bit more malt character.
All right.
Higher ABV than a Helles would typically have.
I don't know why, but I hated the fact that you called it an Imperial Helles. It bothered me. Like my eye twitched.
Yeah.
Well, it's like 5.5 instead of 4.9.
Right. Yeah.
Sounds like it's an 8% Helles.
Maybe people should market their Helles beer as Session Oktoberfest.
That would be
because
they would
probably
amazing.
sell more Helles.
Yeah. That'd be good.
So anyway, I converted it to homebrewer units, so that way it would be easier.
Not like IBUs, but HBUs.
Yeah. So this beer typically starts out around 1053 and ends up at around 1012, around 21 IBUs. And the IBUs are split between both Hallertau Mittelfrüh and Tettnang. I kind of like the combination of a little spicy darkness with the lighter lemony Hallertau. And then 83 1/3% Pilsner, and then 8 1/3 Vienna, and 8 1/3 Munich 1 for the malt percentages. I figured it'd be easier to give percentages. That way people use their Beersmith software.
There you go. Beersmith 3 out
now. And figure out, depending on your batch and your efficiencies and all of that, you can figure out exactly how many pounds you need. I used WLP 830, and make sure you pitch the appropriate amount. Don't just buy one vial and think that your little starter is going to be enough to make this lager. Jamel's calculator works really good for that. I typically pitched a 40-barrel pitch into 10 barrels.
Really?
At Loma. Yeah.
You weren't buying it. What do you care?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But we typically also reuse these 3 times, so we got our money's worth out of it. But yeah, just to cut down on the ester profile and get good attenuation. And so...
And did that line up with his yeast calculator, your 40-barrel... Pitch size?
Yeah, it was actually pretty close.
Cool.
Yeah.
So just go by the calculator. Great.
Right, yes.
You should have your own calculator, Warren.
Right.
Just reskin his.
Buy more than you think you need.
Yeah.
And get that.
.com.
And then as far as water goes, I typically use kind of two main metrics as far as mineral content. I shot for around 60 ppm of calcium, and then depending on whatever the seasonal water was, I was looking for a sulfate to chloride ratio of about 0.8. So more on the chloride side to get a little bit maltier.
That beer, yeah.
And then I used phosphoric acid to adjust the pH because with that grain bill, you're typically going to have too high of a pH.
Okay.
And with the beer being around 10, 12, it's important to get a pH on the lower side so that way the beer ends up lower because that helps make it have less apparent sweetness. It helps make it more drinkable. So I use phosphoric acid. You can use whatever you got.
And you do that in the mash?
Correct, yeah.
And that cascades down to the finished beer.
Yes, yeah. So all of the minerals and the acid go in with the mash.
Right.
And then as far as mash schedule, I did a protein rest at 122 degrees, or 121, sorry. Totally would change.
Dude, I can't even trust a single word you're saying.
Yeah,
now.
just scrap the whole recipe. It's not good. It's not good. And I'd rest there for 10 minutes and then heat up to a saccharification rest at 148 and then rest there for about 50. I found that with the protein rest, my attenuation increased by almost about 5%.
Wow.
So all these people that say modern malts are fine and you don't need it are liars.
You're liars. All right. I'm a liar, I guess.
So, 50-minute rest at 148, then mash out at 165, let that rest for 10 minutes or whatever, and then 90-minute boil, just a single 60-minute hop addition for all those IBUs. And then I knocked out at 48 degrees to let it free rise up to 50, where primary would go for about a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the knocking in low before primary helps cut down on the ester profile of the yeast character as well. And then after about a week, when you get the gravity gets down to about 1018 or so, I let it free rise up to 57 and then let it sit there until it passes diacetyl rest, which for me typically was around 14 to 16 days.
Okay.
You can do this really easy test where you'll take two samples of the beer, and one is your control, and the other you heat up to about 140 degrees for about 10 minutes. And then if you cool that back down to approximately the same temperature as your control and smell them side by side, you're essentially forcing any precursors to diacetyl to convert into that.
Okay.
And then you can smell them and see if your diacetyl rest is totally done. So we would do that all the time. And so, like I said, typically 14 to 16 days. Then we would gradually cool the beer about 4 degrees a day until we could get the beer down to 29 degrees. The colder, the better. If you can only get to mid-30s or whatever, you're going to want to lager for a little bit more time. But we would lager at 29 for 2 to 3 weeks. And then force carbonate, and it's ready to go.
It's a long recipe, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to lager, you might as well lager.
I could have lagered a beer by the time it took you to read that recipe.
But it wouldn't have been as good as this one.
I mean...
So there you go. Start
wrong.
now, and it'll be ready for next year.
Yeah, right. Just the brewing part of it, but the rest has to... All right, well, thanks, Warren. I'm glad...
Yeah.
I'm glad you did your homework.
I did it. I'm sure Justin listened.
You get a gold star.
And so he'll know that I did
pentagram.
it. Check that box.
I drew a pentagram for you. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a star, right?
Yeah, in a certain direction.
Okay.
Actually, that's what I drew. I don't even know if that's just a shape.
That's an hourglass?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? You know what I do know, though? Drake's. Go to drinkdrakes.com. They have a lot of good beer over there. And they're good dudes. They're opening a bunch of places. And they have a lot of stuff going on.
I had a couple 1500s this weekend.
You did?
Yeah.
Nice.
Tasting great.
Whereabouts?
As usual. It was actually at the local watering hole, Vinny's.
Hell yeah,
here.
bro. Vinny's.
Concord.
seeing the Schumans play some music.
Oh, yeah.
Or at least try to.
Right. Well, they still struggle with that.
Yeah.
That's good that they're ugly.
They had a good show. It was Saturday night.
Yeah.
You missed out.
I forgot about it.
I wish that I could have been there.
Yeah. I totally would have gone, too. I forgot about it.
Yeah, instead of drinking cloudy beer, I just had some clear 1500.
Yeah, I didn't drink cloudy beer either. I just had under-attenuated fucking Oktoberfest.
Oh, okay.
Twice.
Just to be sure.
And then faction beer. So, look, my day was fine.
Okay.
Actually, it wasn't. It was fine.
Like, if it weren't for Drake's, I probably wouldn't even be over here.
Oh, really?
Well, originally I grew up with my mom going to the Drake's parties.
Oh, yeah.
When they originally
the first Fridays or whatever?
Yeah, the first Fridays.
Yeah.
And that's how I actually she met Jada and Berto of HopTech. And
okay, because they're very unfriendly people.
Yeah.
Very, very introverted. Yeah.
And they were, like, from the way I've heard, like, both sides of the story, but pretty much they were inducted into the Cool Kids Club over there.
Yeah.
And after that, became good friends. And then, they ended up, the party blocked a truck, I guess, for one of the neighboring businesses. So that's how the party got shut down. They all became known as Lost Drakers. And so I've grown up with, like, these, well, my mom leaving every first Friday and to these parties that later find out it was over at Drake's. And from there, they became Lost Drakers, started partying at other people's houses because they got nowhere to go.
Right.
And so, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here over the brewing scene.
That's cool, man. That's a good story. That's what Drake's does. They push people around, man. They bring people into the beer industry.
Yeah.
You know who else pushes people around, Warren? The Chamonix
Push
Creek.
Eject. Oh.
Well, Push Eject does too. It's been on the Philly Beer Map since 2012. They recently took their 4th Philly Beer Scene Magazine Award for Brewer of the Year and 3rd for the Brewery of the Year. 2-time GABF Vienna-style lager medal winner. Also a bronze for their smoked lager in 2016, which I was talking to Jeremy the other day. He's going to send me some of that smoked lager.
Oh. Will any of us get? Oh, okay.
It's coming to my house this time.
Okay.
Specifically for me.
So then I need to email Jeremy and ask him to send
so
me
then I
some.
will bring it to share with you because I'm the greatest person that you've ever known.
Well, I guess we'll see.
They have a large expanded tap room, a variety of beer styles, free brewery tours on Saturdays, at ChamonixCreekBrewing.com. And then last but not least, Warren, it's your favorite ad. Go to adamandeve.com, and for a limited time only, you will get the free Big O Kit, little treat that they give you and whatever. But you get 50% off almost any item when you enter code BNARMY at checkout. So you do that, and you get free shipping. So, you get 50% off almost anything, free shipping, and you get a little something extra afterwards using code BNARMY at checkout. That's BNARMY at adamandeve.com. Okay, Twitter game real fast, Warren, and then we're done because I'm hungry.
Yeah. You're going to have to look up the Twitter game.
I got it right here, bro.
Okay.
I'm doing it right now. I've been doing it the whole time.
Wow.
Well,
multitasking over there.
Yeah.
Or
I'm impressed.
Multitasking.
That and doing the backup. That's 2 things in one night. This guy's getting good.
Multitasking, guys.
You had moments of smartness.
No, that joke wasn't.
Neither was Bevo turning on her mic.
Neither was Bevo talking to her friggin' microphone. After
I didn't care
years.
enough to get into my mic to say that.
You get into
it? Yeah, you don't actually have to get into your
I
mic.
have to climb into it.
It's not a sleeping bag.
Aw.
I wish it was. It's not a Snuggie. What happened to your Snuggie? Do you still wear that goddamn thing?
I totally still have it.
Do you use it?
Yeah, but not as a Snuggie. I use it more as just a blanket.
That was the whole thing about the Snuggie. Like, it made no sense. Just poke your friggin' arms out, and then you can grab your glass and you get back in your... Because no one uses it. That was the thing. You're never going to use it as a Snuggie. You're going to use it as a blanket.
I used it as a robe a couple times.
I was expecting her to say I use it as a shirt.
Yeah, I'm wearing it right now.
Yeah, it's my dress.
That's how I go to Taco Bell all the time. Yeah. Okay, so the Twitter game was what design would I put on my lederhosen, right?
Something like that. Yeah. What how are you going to decorate your lederhosen?
Drunk Rhino. I feel like we haven't heard from Drunk Rhino in a long time, or is that Albino Rhino? Who was the dude that we tried to light on fire at the anniversary party?
That was just Rhino.
It was just Rhino. Oh, shit. I can't keep up with all these Rhino
So
names.
now he's drunk?
He said teddy bears, pacifiers, and bottles of milk so his kid will actually like him. I mean, not wrong.
Does she know what those are?
No. Philip Grosvenor II, apparently, he says, a giant ligma.
A what?
A giant ligma. And then I said it would probably be more like an up dog.
I don't know anything of what you're saying right now.
Oh, you weren't here for the ligma, but, it'd be an up dog.
You're trying to get me to say what's.
I'm sure I was here, but I don't know what you're talking about. What is it?
Yeah.
It's a giant. It's just an up dog.
What's ligma?
I would prefer you go with the up dog, but it's fine. And then you go, "What's up, dog?" I go, "Not much, dog. What's up with you?"
Ligma?
Ligma is no. I can't. I feel uncomfortable saying it right now.
Okay.
All right, don't worry about it. Now my thing turned off. Jeff Grailnick says there would be see-through. The shorts would be see-through, so everyone can see how clear and smooth everything is. And then he says, #no haze, bro.
See-through leather.
But it'd be see-through. It would be like you would get the condensation, and then that would just be real gross. Jeff Angle says he found some really cool bratwursts to hang all over them while browsing in Adam and Eve. Effing Beer says the only answer is D&D. And then Ryan Clift said some dumb D&D thing no one knows or cares about. So you're kind of hitting the D&D, thing.
Yeah, they know you.
And then
Good listener.
Anthony Lazari says JP has lederhosen. In Chechnya, we only have our skin, and our skin is old, dry, and full of cracks. We would add designs to our skin, but the only color we have is crap, and it gets into the cracks and makes us cry dry tears because we are too poor to afford tears.
Wow.
That was a long
That's
one.
a long tweet.
That guy was working all night on that.
I think, to be honest with you, Anthony, you should have stopped that. In Chechnya, we only have our skin, and our skin is old, dry, and full of cracks.
Yeah.
Like, that's funny.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Which one do you guys think is the funniest or the best?
Got a rise out of this,
Somewhere between Ligma and Updog.
not Ligma.
What was before the D? Yeah, the see-through one.
Got some play.
Yeah.
That's very funny.
The see-through leather?
Yeah.
It got some play.
That did. And then one of the D&D ones.
The D&D got some play.
The only answer is D&D, and then some dumb D&D thing no one knows or cares about.
I like the second one better.
Okay.
Me too.
But
I'm
I
a
feel
D&D.
bad if the first one came chronologically.
It did. You should feel bad. Feel bad about a lot of things.
I thought the Adam and Eve sausages one was pretty
That
funny.
one was also, so those would be the top three
Jesus
for me.
Christ. That's 4.
No, not both D&D ones.
Okay, just the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, so some dumb D&D thing no one knows or cares about. He found some really cool bratwurst to hang all over them while browsing at Adam and Eve. Or the shorts would be see-through so everyone can see how clear and smooth everything is.
This kind of
Personally, having to see you, I'd prefer the sausages from Adam and Eve.
You know I'm going to be home, right? You know I'm not going to go out.
I don't know, looking good with those hot lederhosen.
Okay, anybody else have an opinion on these?
Yeah, any of our guests.
Stupid game that we played?
The clear leader.
clear pants.
Okay.
If you're at home anyways.
Okay. We got 2 vote tasty.
But I would like if you would come to the Concord Octoberfest in those.
I would too, to be honest with you.
I'd already rung in. I nominated Clear Lederhosen, so I'm going to stick with it.
Oh, shit.
I'm with Tasty.
I'll take the clear lederhosen.
Oh, man. Okay.
All right.
Clear lederhosen. So it's Jeff. Good job, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. Whatever.
Watch
dude.
Cops, everybody.
Cops every nightly on Spike TV.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Was it Karen?
Yeah, I think it was Karen. Yeah.
Jesus Christ. It was just basically the joke is like this dude got arrested from getting pulled over in his driveway somehow, and he was harassing his girlfriend about it. She's like, well, I didn't mean for you to get arrested. He's like, thank you, Karen. Thank you. Like super passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Like, thank you. No.
As he's getting
thank
lowered
you.
into the police car. Thanks, Karen.
Yeah, thank you. So good.
I thought you were going to say he's wearing clear lederhosen. And
I
then
wish.
he got arrested.
I wish. That's what'll happen to me.
Oh.
See, this tweet is entrapment.
Yeah. Thanks, Taryn. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff Grelnick. Thank you. Thank you, Germans. But a sincere thank you to Epidemic Ales for coming in and talking about their beer and your guys' brewery and the story and all that kind of fun stuff. I really appreciated it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you to Pedro from the city of Concord for coming in and talking about how cool Concord is. So if you guys want to start a business in Concord, you have to deal with Pedro, and that seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves beer.
He does love beer.
We
It sounds
love
like
beer.
it. Yeah, you guys love beer
We
too.
do.
All
We
right,
make all the
everybody. Thanks a lot for tuning in to the session, and apparently we'll be gone for the next 2 weeks,
Yeah, we'll miss you
which is
guys.
nice, probably because Bev is vacationing. Oh, yeah, GABF.
GABF.
That's right.
GABF.
Monitor Justin's heart palpitations on the Chinese herbs and stuff, because that's just weird.
You know,
By the way, you got 10 seconds to finish his thought.
yeah, whatever. Justin's going to...
All right. Thank you very much, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
JP does great as his charity.